The tape. We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The tape. Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The tape.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
The tape.
UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunker down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Found guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Kirby smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play, we ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. The tape.
We ain't gonna play, we ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play, we ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play, we ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The
Shut
tape.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape.
Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up. The tape.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film God Network on a fabulous Monday evening. We have an absolutely loaded show for you guys right now and a loaded week right here, okay? Because what a time it is to be both a content creator, but for you guys, a content consumer. I mean, we love doing our job, but we got a lot of job to do this week, all right? We got a lot of job to do. We had 6 SEC football coaches hired in the last 24 hours of this here statement. Jeez. I mean, it has been a whirlwind of news and content to get out and takes to get out and whatever. It's a lot of work to be done, a lot of things to be listened to and adhered to. By the end of this stream, we could have the Penn State job done. Yep. I mean, that coaching search could be done and all that good stuff. Guys, we had a rivalry weekend of college football, actual games that got played that delivered at an extremely high rate. I thought it was a tremendous thank you at the end of a college football regular season. I mean, we wait all year for this stuff, all off season for this stuff, and we wait and we wait and we anticipate, and then it happens in a blink of an eye. And I thought that was a tremendous culmination. I thought rare do you get a week 1 that absolutely delivers and a week 13, week 14 that absolutely delivered. I thought it was a tremendous opening and closing to a regular season of college football this year. We've got a lot of thoughts and notes and things to talk about from that. Of course, we have college football rankings, playoff rankings coming tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That'll be a 7:30 kickoff here on the network. And guys, National Signing Day, early National Signing Day, which is National Signing Day. I mean, 95% of the best football players will already sign their national letter of intent and therefore contract, essentially, their name, image, and likeness contract. It'll be done by Wednesday. By Wednesday at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, most of these classes will be solidified, and I feel like most people forget about that. Mm-hmm. I feel like most people don't even realize that that's what's going on. We've got to talk about that tonight, and we've got to talk about that this week as well. It's an insanely loaded time and an insanely loaded show. It's J. Will's return for the first time since November 21st. You know how I know that?
My birthday.
Well, yeah, your birthday. Happy birthday on that one. No, not just November 21st is your birthday. I've known that because I've been let known that we haven't posted podcasts since November 21st. And you know what I like to let people I remind people every time they remind me that podcasts aren't uploaded. I let them know that's because J. Will's got a job. And if I do J. Will's job, what is J. Will for? You know what I mean?
I'm just here for the upload.
No. You got to provide purpose. I don't want to take your purpose from you, son.
Well,
That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to take the man's purpose by doing his work. So we got podcasts back tonight.
Honestly, I'm shocked that they even went to you first, because usually it's me, like, next morning, Twitter DMs, everything, like, hey, I need my podcast. Like, hey, I got you. Don't worry. That's on me, dude. So I'm shocked that I wasn't flooded with those.
You probably got flooded with the first 12 and you say, hey, I'm not in the stew.
Yeah.
Talk to the big man. And then the big man got the DMs. So here we go. We got podcasts going up tonight. Road to 100K. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button tonight. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're firing off in the chat. All that good stuff. Let's talk coaching moves. But, boys, that man Lane Kiffin took top billing way too long. Way too long. Way too many first block segments led with Lane Kiffin in the content industry. So I'm going to pivot. I'm going to pivot and give it to you a little bit differently. Kalani Sitake penciled in right about now, not pinned, penciled in to take the head coaching job up there at Penn State. Obviously, the BYU head coach. And, boys, I'm a Sitake fan. I'm a big-time Kalani Sitake fan. This guy's won 10-plus games 4 out of the last 6 years. Hell, 3 out of the last 6 years, 11-plus games out there in the Big 12. Now, the first, I think, 3 or 4 of those as an independent, but, playing really, really good conference schedules, in my opinion. Really, really salty conference schedules, in my opinion. And then walked into the Big 12 and did it as well. Like, everybody thought Utah coming over to the Big 12 was going to be the new supremacy of that conference. It's been the Cougars for the most part. Now it is the Texas Tech Red Raiders, but we all know why they're. And they're doing a great job capitalizing on that and, making sure they go out there and not just spend money, but capitalize on the money spent. They're doing a great job of that. I don't mean to demean it, but BYU and Sitake won a lot of good football games. And for me, when it comes to coaches, man, we talk about consistency all the time, but, like, do you have an identity? Like, do your football programs have identity? Do your football teams, when I watch you, do I know what I'm going to get? And when I watch BYU football, I feel like I know what I'm going to get. Yep. I feel like I'm going to get line of scrimmage-based football that's going to punch you in the mouth, all right, and get after you. Like, defensively, they're known for edge rushers. They're known for defensive linemen. They're known for linebackers. Offensively, they've been throwing it around the yard for the last couple of years. Ian Retzclaff been chunking it up, and obviously Bear Bachmeier, the true freshman, been chunking it up as well. Like, I think Kalani Sitake is really, really good. My only concern about this hire, if it is indeed a fact, which it seems to be basically written in stone or written to be done, my only concern about this, guys, is that this is a dude who has not – I mean, he's recruited admirably at Big 12 country, but the Big 10 is a place of recruitments. Like, you got to go recruit against the big boys. And not only that, the way that Franklin built that program was out of the DMV. Yep. And Penn State fans listening to this take probably know what I'm talking about. But that Maryland, Washington, D.C. area, like Philly area, like that DMV area, that 90-mile nucleus right there, you got to be able to recruit that place to be really, really good at Penn State. And that's what James Franklin did when he went up there. That's why they recruited inside the top 12. And you got to border up places like St. Francis. Can Kalani Sitake go do that? That's my biggest question about that type of hire.
Yeah, and I think kind of to back that up, but also at the same time bring up another aspect of this coaching hire. If Sitake is indeed the guy that ends up taking the Penn State job, is one, going into recruiting, and I know that this isn't a guy from the DMV area, but it kind of proves that he has the ability to recruit a guy of this caliber. As Ryder Lyons committed to BYU at the moment, supposed to go play for BYU this next year. Now, if Sitake is no longer the head coach, maybe that opens back up. Maybe that gets a little interesting. But at least has shown the ability of, hey, we can recruit top guys to their positions. Not only that, we can land them as well. But he's also done a good job of, like, I mean, heck, this year he loses his starting quarterback, enters the transfer portal, all that stuff that happened around there, and then has a first-year starting quarterback that nobody had even heard of going into this year, and yet he's on the precipice of potentially making a college football playoff.
People knew about Bear Bachmeier. The SEC, here's how I know. He was one of those Cali kids that all of a sudden, like January, February, you're popping a Georgia offer. What's up with that? You're popping you're popping SEC offers like right before you go to college. What's happening there? We just watched your last year of tape is what happened there. There was an alertness to the Bear-Bachmeier climb and ascension, and I believe he finished inside the top 200 prior to his commitment to BYU. But
should have said
I'm correcting you because I need to correct myself. We at least know he can recruit the quarterback position.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I just brought up questions about whether or not this dude can recruit at a really, really high level. Yes, at the quarterback position, which is the most important position that there is.
Yeah.
He's done it 3 times over, really, right? He did it with Retzclaff out of the transfer portal. He's done it with Ryder Lyons in the current class and Bear-Bachmeier. That's 3 times over with 3 big-time, I'm not going to say transcendent talent, but transitional talents. They will change what we do offensively with that type of recruitment.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a slam dunk perfect hire for Penn State, but it also
sounds like it's not quite done.
Right.
So,
but it's also if it does end up being this, I think that this is a step in the right direction necessarily. I don't know if Kalani Sitake is the guy that's going to elevate you to a national championship program, but I also don't think he's going to be the guy that makes you go 6-6 consistently.
Real question is, what's his top 25 record? That's all I care about. What's his top 10 record? Anybody know? Is it better than James Franklin's?
Just looking at last season and knowing what this year is, he beat a ranked Kansas State team last year. He lost to a ranked Arizona State team last year, and then he beat a ranked Colorado team at the very end of the year.
2-1. We'll take it. 2-1. It's an improvement. I don't believe that to be the case. I think James Franklin's a really damn good football coach, too. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. I think the ultimate storyline, if this is the finality point on the Penn State job search, if it is Kalani Sitake, the thing I would think most about is whether or not they indeed had it in unspoken words between the best friend AD and Matt Rule for him to take that job. I think that's what happened here. Mm-hmm. I think if we could make everyone take truth serum, what we would find out is that the athletic director watched Penn State lose to Northwestern, was really, really frustrated with James Franklin, went home, had a private meeting with himself, and sat in his basement and said, you know what? My buddy Matt Rule can get this place right just like he's doing Nebraska. Imagine if we give him his alma mater's resources, and then he loses to Minnesota the next week, and now it's like, oh, shit, we can't do that.
Yeah, the timing kind of got thrown off there for sure.
The whole thing. I think the whole job – did his real Twitter account get hacked today, the athletic director?
I don't know what's going on there.
That
looks definitely not real.
That looks
real.
like a parody account.
It looked like either it looked very real or an athletic director whose account was not very active.
Yeah.
Who had 1,500 followers who never really tweeted, and then it got hacked. I don't know. Very, very interesting. I like the move. If it's Sitake, my only question is, like I said, can you go recruit? Right. I know like I said, his football team's got they have an identity of toughness and competitiveness, and he obviously knows how to motivate his guys. That's an important thing about coaching the game of football. All right, guys, I haven't heard any of you guys' takes on Lane Kiffin. Y'all been up out the stew. Y'all ain't been in front of a microphone. Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss, and I've got thoughts, comments, questions, concerns. I want to start with this. If you watch Lane Kiffin's press conference today, if you read the quotes that come out of Lane Kiffin's press conference today, it's very clear to me that obviously he spoke to Pete Carroll. He spoke to Nick Saban. Pete Carroll's quote, from everything that I've heard Lane Kiffin say today, was your dad would tell you to take the shot. Your dad would tell you to take the opportunity. Your dad would tell you to go ahead and do this. So there we go. We got Pete Carroll's input basically from Lane Kiffin secondhand. And then from everything I've heard that Nick Saban told him was, that's the best job in college football. Now, I paraphrased, they're one of what it looked to me like Lane Kiffin was told from Nick Saban today during this process, that is the best job in college football. And here's the quote today, all right? Quote, Coach Saban coached at another place in this conference, so I can't say exactly what he said, but I think the world of Coach Saban. I respect him, and there's a reason I'm here. He also said previously to that a close friend, very important to the decision, told him this was the best job in college football. Now, not to be all headline-y guy, hot takey guy, what is that, whatever. But we've all heard Nick Saban say that this is the job. The only regret he's ever had in his career was leaving Baton Rouge, leaving LSU. Is it Baton Rouge or Baton Rouge? I say Baton. I feel very, very weird every time I say it. Leaving LSU. Said it's the biggest regret he's ever had in his career. and now very clearly told Lane Kiffin that this is the best job in football. I believe it's one of the jobs in college football. I'm not here to let y'all make a take about that, though. If I were an Alabama fan, that guy's got a job. He's taking a paycheck right now from Alabama, and he just told Lane Kiffin that this is the best job in college football. His name is on your field. That's very weird. I would feel some type of way if I were a Crimson Tide, I bleed this stuff guy. You know, I'd feel very okay? Either way, this is one of those, hey, unmess-upable jobs. I feel this way about 5 jobs. I thought about this today. Georgia, Texas, Bama, LSU, Ohio State. Those are insanely great jobs. Those are unmess-upable jobs. Honestly, those are the type of jobs that if you're offered them and you say no, you may never, ever get them again. I thought about this today. Big How I Met Your Mother fan. Jonathan, big How I Met Your Mother fan. You remember the episode called The Window? Where the girl next door, Ted's like obsessed with this girl, okay? But every time he ever has a chance to date her, and when she breaks up with her boyfriend, he waits like a week and then calls her up. She's already dating somebody new. The window has closed. Mm-hmm. That's how these jobs are. If you say no to these jobs, the window will close, and it may close forever. So in a vacuum, I'm 100% okay with it. It's all good. LSU, Ole Miss, 100% of the time, you take the LSU job. And you can say that the calendar is the calendar, and he got put in a bad spot. I think all that's a little bit, a bit of a lie, because Kalani Sitake might take this Penn State job, and Penn State might let him coach that, that playoff run if they go on it. I think there are ways to do this where you're not trolling the entire fan base on the way out. But that's all.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the fan base, because one of the first things that was going to. No golf clap on the How I Met Your Mother. No, nothing. I didn't want
love.
I wasn't going to interrupt you during your take.
I'm over here vibrating. I'm on a How I Met Your Mother high right now with that take.
I was giving you some head nods over here. Hey, that was legend. Wait for it, dairy right there.
Oh boy,
absolute legendary. But I'm glad you brought up the fan base, because that's kind of where I wanted to start. Of Ole Miss fans. Despite some of the crazy things that I have seen on my timeline, and despite all the crazy things that Lane Kiffin said about his way out of that building and what that experience was like, you guys have every right to feel the way that you do.
Light it up.
I mean,
burn it down.
It feels like that this place is about to crumble absolutely beneath you after it just got built up to its highest point, and you guys felt like you're at the pinnacle of this program, and you're about to continue this run with Lane Kiffin as your head coach. You have every right to feel every way that all the emotions, everything. On the flip side, Lane Kiffin also has every right to take that job. It makes complete sense why he would. I felt like he was always going to take the job, because in my opinion, it was, if he was going to stay, why wouldn't you already announce it? You're heading into your final week of the season. You have a potential conference championship coming up, playoff run, all that stuff. If you were going to stay, you would already announce that, all that stuff. So I think that he knew that what he was going to do the entire time. It got drug out even more because he wanted to coach and all that stuff. So I think that obviously probably wasn't handled in the best way, and it created a lot of emotions, and it created a lot of people hypothesizing different things and whatnot. But I think ultimately LSU is a better job than Ole Miss. I don't care what you want to say. I know Ole Miss fans probably don't want to hear that, but it's true. It is absolutely true. That's a better job. I think you'll do great there, but I don't know. I just thought the whole thing got crazy and out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, we can all agree that Lane Kiffin probably should have taken the LSU job. The LSU job is a step up from Ole Miss. We can all agree that Ole Miss fans have every right to feel the way that they do. But somewhere in the middle, I think Lane Kiffin has to be held accountable for this. Lane Kiffin's actions leading up to this in the last, month and a half, ever since Brian Kelly got fired, was basically
6 weeks.
Yeah, trolling. My son's got LSU headphones. I'm posting daily devotionals. I'm doing all of this stuff to kind of rile up each side of the fan base, to where it's created so much drama. We've seen coaches leave mid-season before. We've seen coaches take other jobs and finish out the season. It's not like, and I feel like Lane Kiffin tried to paint it in this way of, the AD was just really, really hard on, you're not coaching here anymore, you're leaving, and I respect that, but he's not taking accountability in the fact that what he did, what he said, and the way that he acted in this lead up to it is what's caused this reaction. I mean, now I don't want to say anything too slanderous, because he very clearly listens to what people say on podcasts, but I think that there does need to be some accountability for the act led up to this. And I think that's probably what it is. I will also say this. his legacy has taken a massive hit, whether he cares about that or not, to the point where
Well, that's what's weird. I don't mean to cut you
you're
off.
good.
He referenced his dad's, multiple stops and how he impacted people's lives at all those stops. What do you think your impact is on Ole Miss people right now?
Yeah, dude. Like,
The people in Oxford, what do you think the impact is on those people? How do you feel like they feel about you? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like that, you impacted those feelings to an uproar and to cause the reaction, the visceral reaction that's ultimately happened. I don't recommend people swerving at his car like you referenced today.
No.
Definitely don't recommend that. Boo the hell out the guy at the airport. Do whatever. I'm surprised y'all didn't throw rocks at the plane. I guess it's because the police were there. But yeah, boo the guy until like when he comes back next year to Oxford. My God, he's gonna have to walk around in a bubble. They're gonna throw stuff at him for 4 quarters.
Yeah, we'll have a repeat.
Have y'all been to that place?
Yeah.
no, it's
I have.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That place is whoo. Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm saying, in order to justify this and get this stain off of your legacy, you've got to win multiple national titles in Baton Rouge. Because if you don't, the story of Lane Kiffin is going to be he left Ole Miss in the dust. He completely screwed them over, whatever the nuances are for that, and he went there to LSU and didn't really do much and flamed out. That's going to be the Lane Kiffin story if you don't win multiple national titles here.
I can't be a proponent of the way that he went out, right?
No.
Calling the AD out by name in the message on the way out on the social media. Do you really believe in the get on the plane or go?
I don't know if I do or not, but I kind of do. I could
I
very
do.
easily see him saying that.
I don't know if it was that blunt, but it's, hey guys, I got a job to fill by December 3rd.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to be signed, sealed, and delivered by December 3rd. I got to be calling recruits, telling them who their coach is going to be. You either come or you're not.
And I mean, it makes sense too, like how he would be that way because, he lands in Baton Rouge, and next thing you know, it's Blake Baker, defensive coordinator. Like this guy, obviously, like things are happening
Lamar
at an
Brown,
expedited.
here we go.
Things are happening
On
at an
campus
expedited
immediately
process
as soon as I get there.
Exactly. So I could certainly see, like, this guy obviously had urgency despite how long this process took. There is also certainly some urgency. I think the best thing that I've seen out of all of this, though, is, to, like, encapsulate who Lane Kiffin is, like, he's the most likable asshole you'd ever meet. Like, that's the best way to put it about him.
I kept saying he does everything he does I do not like, but for some reason I love him.
Right.
But I don't anymore. I feel gross. The manipulation of the people makes me feel gross. Doing it to the people, man.
He wore the I'm the heel of college football badge very, very well, especially during his run at Ole Miss. Yeah. This was kind of just like, oh, this is grimy.
Yeah, it's gross.
I can't get. And there's a lot of stuff going around on Twitter right now that is also
craziest thing on Twitter that you can actually talk about. Do you think the dog was his? That's the craziest thing that's come out of this to me.
That's the
idea that Juice, the dog, it's not his. It's a ploy. It was to make him more likable.
Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Is that a PR stick?
I saw a post today where it was Juice running around the field saying, "I'm looking for Dad right now."
Dude,
he left the dog.
Bro didn't even give Juice a note. Like we didn't even give him a goodbye love tap on the head. No chin rubs.
Apparently,
no treats.
He wasn't allowed to talk to his own team.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the other thing where it's just like, what are we doing, guys? Like, and even if you were not allowed to talk to your own team, don't you think you had a hand in leading up to that?
Oh, yeah.
To the way you treated.
It got so ugly between you and the AD. He was like, no way you're not going in there and telling those people. And by the way, every chance he has gotten an opportunity, he has dimed out that AD. Every single chance.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in his opening statement, he basically said, I wanted to continue to coach and they wouldn't let me. That's on them. Like, I think it was like one of his first sentences out there at LSU. So, all right, if I had to tell you, Lane Kiffin is at LSU in 3 years with a national title or elsewhere, which one of those are you taking?
I'd probably take the 3 years national title than elsewhere.
I think I would as well.
Yeah. I think, I'd say 3 years with a national title. I don't think either one is, like, super likely.
Or there without one.
Oh, definitely could see there without
one. Yeah, I
one.
could see there without one for sure. He would be on the hot seat at that point, though. Well, I mean, I don't know. If he makes a playoff a bunch of times.
But that's the door you open taking this job. You're at a place where they're going to keep you around. It'd take a lot for them to kick you out of there. Now you're at a job that it doesn't take much for them to start talking about it.
No.
Now, I thought personally the decision to hire Pete Golding long-term was the only one you could make.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Makes sense.
And I got a lot of heat and flack on this on social media because a lot of people were like, you gave that an A+ hire. Guys, they had no options, okay? Lane left them in a situation where they had to promote an interim head coach to go, and it's a byproduct of Lane's success, by the way. An 11-1 football team, now in a playoff run, positioned to host a home playoff unless the College Football Committee holds this all against them, which by their College Football Playoff Committee rules and bylaws, they have the ability to do so. It's written right there, any catastrophic losses, essentially, whether that be to player, personnel, coaching, whatever it may be, it takes into equation. So all that into situation into account, they had to promote an interim head football coach. It had to be someone on the defensive staff because obviously he was going to rip everybody on the offensive staff he possibly could. So you have to hire an interim. That leaves you two options. Either promote the interim long-term, and in Pete Golding's case, he's been there a long time, or been there 3 years, or promote the interim and then start a job coaching search January 5th. Who in the hell they going to hire in the middle of January 5th, January 20th? God forbid they win. God forbid they win. They going to hire Pete Golding, obviously. But let's say they win a game, and then they're playing January 10th, and they don't have a head football coach. How? How is that possible? There was no candidates left. They were left in an unwinnable position with an option of hire Pete Golding or hire God knows who January 15th. Mm-hmm. Hire God knows who January 15th was not an option, so they made the right decision. So they get an A+.
Oh, it checks all the boxes for you. You're keeping a guy within the building that is going to coach his team throughout the playoffs. You're keeping a guy on the staff that, while didn't recruit everybody that's in your current class, that is a guy that all of those players are familiar with. So you check a box there of you're going to do everything that you can to at least hold on to what you have in this class as much as possible. And a guy that obviously wants to be there. He chose to stay there. He's choosing to continue to coach there. And he obviously wants to be the head coach there. So, it checks all the boxes for them.
Yeah, I mean, you were put in such a position because also, let's remember, Ole Miss wasn't kind of entertaining a contingency plan if Lane leaves. Maybe they had some names on the board, but it's not like they were actively.
Keith Carter swears they were. Keith Carter swore that, because you have to understand, in my opinion, when Lane leaves, you have to know that the entire offensive brainstem potentially could be gone. Mm-hmm. So the idea of the future being on that side of the ball wasn't there. So I would imagine if I were the AD at Ole Miss, or in the future, if I'm the AD in a situation like this, there's no way me and the defensive coordinator haven't had to talk about the third week Lane's messing with me on social media. There's no way. It would be AD malpractice, would it not, Christian?
What are you saying?
What I'm asking is, if Keith Carter and Pete Golding hadn't had a conversation about will you want to be in the running to coach this football team, or would you be the interim? Are you the future plan? If those things hadn't been in line already by about the third or second or third week they'd been trolling on social media, then he's doing the wrong job.
No, I completely agree. My point is that you can't go around and say, hey, we might have an opening this year. Let's interview some other guy. Obviously,
you can't be in the running for Golish, Sumrall,
yeah,
any of these coaches. You can't be out there. You couldn't even call Kenny Dillingham
exactly
and be like, hey, if he leaves, would you come?
Right.
You couldn't even do any of that.
All the talks have to be internal, which I'm sure took place, but you're not interviewing outside sources. So that's what I meant by that.
Oh, my bad. Should we move on?
Let's move on.
Sumrall to Florida. Am I allowed to say this? I like the hire because I like the guy. Everything I've ever seen from John Sumrall, I'm almost addicted to it. It's like one of those people watch the Jocko dude to get them excited about going and working out. Mm-hmm. People watch Goggins to get them excited about going and running. Mm-hmm. I watch Sumrall press conferences to get excited about watching film. Just the way he talks about ball, the way he talks about coaching, the way he talks about his process, the way he talks about his obsession. Am I okay? Am I allowed to like a coaching hire because I 100% believe the dude?
No,
yeah, that's fine.
Of course you can. And I would say, and I think that was fully on display in his opening press conference at Florida, where I'm seeing quotes tweeted left and right that he's saying, and everybody's like, oh, baby, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I wanted at the University of Florida this entire time. So when he's up in front of a microphone, he's hooking everybody in. Everybody's already bought in. They're like, oh, yeah, this is the guy. Listen to what he's saying about this place.
It's important to know he's won at 2 spots, okay, at the mid-major level. He won at Troy. They were bad before he was there as the head football coach. They've been pretty bad after he left that place. That's not like a pick and stick, automatically good 9-10 win football program. Nope. John Summerall made it that for 2 years. It hasn't been that since he's been there. All right, I think they were 2-9 the year he took over that football program. Immediately turned them into a winning football program. I'll give you that Tulane's a really good football program no matter what. I think the next guy that steps in there is going to win. But that being said, the American's really, really hard to win. That's the best mid-major conference that there is in college football, in my opinion, by a slight, like a good margin, a really, really good margin. And he did so with his starting quarterback showing up in July. His entire 9-5 roster from last year was completely pillaged by Power 5 football programs, and he rebuilt it from the studs and in line to win the conference this year. In good line to win the conference this year. I think he's a winner with winning habits, and like the next guy that we're going to talk about in Golish, I think is a grinder, and he especially is far more relatable. I don't know if Golish is a people's person. I think he's an offensive nerd. I do, and that's good, and we'll talk about that in a second. Mm-hmm. I think this guy is a lunatic that's a really, really relatable person. And having been around a lot of these football coaches, I think that's the key. I think knowing the other person across from you, knowing that, damn, this guy's an asshole, he's really on me right now. He is riding me really, really. I've never worked this hard, but it's for the betterment of me. This is for the betterment of me. He's got that on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, I know like the immediate point that people are going to make about this hire is like, well, this is exactly what Florida just tried out, where they get a guy from the G5 level. He won a lot. Now they're going to bring him on to Florida.
I don't think it is because he's defensive minded. He's done it twice over. And I think when you do it twice over at 2 different spots, a little bit different than I was an OC at the Power 4 level. I went down to ULL, got the right bunch of transfer portals one time and one big. Now I'm the Florida head football coach. I think that's slightly different.
Yeah, it's not copy and paste the same thing, but what I was going to say is I think a key difference, and it's what you're talking about, is like when Billy Napier is talking in front of people, or like what you see from Billy Napier is like not a standoffish guy, but it's kind of like a cold feeling from him. Like he's just a very stern, straight face, no emotion, here to coach football, here to try and win games. This guy is everything but that.
What I don't get, and I understand that Florida fans wanted Lane Kiffin because that is their dream, right? Offensive firepower and fun and flash and great press conferences and win the press conference moments and like, ooh, we're on the head of Sports Center, like all that stuff like that. That's what Florida fans want, and that's what they aspire for, and they didn't get Lane Kiffin, all right? But they got the guy that everybody else wanted. I don't mean to like demean you and say, hey, second place is great, but second place is really, really freaking good. And this might be for the betterment of you, honestly. And I think that Florida fans want points, and they want a lot of points. They want a lot of flash. And this guy ain't that. He's defensive-minded. He's process-oriented. He's all that. But I think he's a winner. I think he is.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly reasons to be more excited. And I do understand some of the comparisons between him and Billy Napier. You can draw some of them. I get that. But it feels like he's going to bring a different attitude to this program, which is something you need. And I think that going back to not Will Muschamp, Dan Mullen, Billy Napier, and Jim McElwain, it's been a very offensive-minded approach in Florida for the last decade or so. I think it's time to switch it up, and this could very well be exactly what that program needs.
Just don't be upset when he's winning 24-17. If he does, he won a football game. I think that's the important part. All I care about is winning, dude. Like, get to that point as a fan base, and you'll be better. I know my platform, I don't mean to demean you guys. I know my platforms on social media are a little bit larger than you guys, so maybe I interact with more of them. But are you guys of the belief that Florida fans, nobody hates Florida more than Florida fans? Honest to God. I don't think there is a fan base that roots for their own internal downfall more than Florida Gator fans. That is my opinion, having interacted with them for 7 years now. Well, I gave their hire an A+, and everybody's like, you don't know ball. You're a freaking idiot. This guy sucks. Billy Jr. Press conference, made a couple good lines, started with a joke. Great job there. Now they're all in favor. You saw a bunch of good news comments?
No.
Now tick up?
No, what I was going to bring up is what you have to remember is that entire fan base hates Scott Strickland right now.
Oh, despises him.
That's where the rooting of the downfall is coming from. Of we don't want this guy to be right at all because this guy we feel like is screwing us over everywhere. We want him out of here. So don't you dare get on here and talk about how good of a hire he just made because we want him out of here just as bad as anybody.
I just had a light bulb go off. Continued thoughts on Summerall to Florida. I got to write some things down.
I mean, I think we've kind of exhausted what we think about Summerall in that this
Okay,
could
good.
be.
I can go into this. I don't even have to write it down.
What?
Yeah, just go ahead. What do you guys say?
I was going to talk about Golish to Auburn, and my brain just light bulb went off. Not only does Auburn Kirby get a new head coach, but KGB Kirby gets a Russian man coaching the Auburn Tigers and Alex Golish. Dude, it's like a wonderkin. It's like a beautiful love child for KGB Auburn. Kirby.
Yeah, I'm not playing into this bit. Go ahead and do that, but
Can't even give me credit.
not
Can't
every
even give me
time.
credit.
Well, I mean, it was in the comments like 2 minutes ago too.
You're right, but I added in the Auburn spin on this.
Dang it.
Thoughts on the Golish hire?
Here's what I'll say about it.
I'll say it this way. When I thought Golish was going to Arkansas, home run hire, that's where you need to be. That's what they need.
But they leaked the story, Jonathan.
Match made, yeah, they leaked the story, and so much so that I thought it was a done deal. And then I keep seeing all this chatter about like who Arkansas is going to hire. I'm like, they already got their head coach. Like, why is everybody talking about this? I had no idea that like fell under the rug and was like, well, that's not happening anymore.
Yep.
But
was frustrated it happened before he could tell his team down there at South Florida.
yeah, so completely understand that. Golish at Auburn, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how that's going to go over there.
Cold War Eagle.
Here's what I think this could turn into. We've seen a program now. It's not as historic. It hasn't been as great, but it's kind of been trudging through the darkness for the better part of 8 years since Gus Malzahn left, and even in the back end of his tail end. They've been horribly down in the dumps, and here comes someone with a wide choice offensive mindset that's going to reinvigorate this, that's going to kind of add a new wrinkle and a new excitement. This could just be Auburn has found their Josh Heupel.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, where Tennessee was to where Josh Heupel has brought them now, I know there's some Tennessee
Very
fans
similar tracks.
that are very upset with it. If you're a 9-3 team, 8-4 sometimes, but you're consistently putting up points, you have an exciting offense, you get your rivals every now and then. I know that Josh Heupel hasn't gotten Georgia, but he's gotten Bama twice. They went 15 years without getting him. This kind of is a really, really good hire for Auburn. It could be.
It checks the number one box at Auburn. Have you given Bama a sweat?
Yeah.
And
yes,
Alex
you have.
Golish gave him a multitude of sweats.
Yep.
Gave him a sweat and a dub out there at Tennessee as the OC, and then had the audacity to give Nick Saban a sweat twice?
Dude.
Twice! You got to hire that guy? You absolutely got to hire that guy down on the plains. He 100% checks that box. In all seriousness, I like this hire for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, he's not named Hugh Freeze. But secondly, and most importantly, I love a football coach that works to outthink the opponent. All right, and this is what Golish talked about in his opening press conference. Golish truly believes that you can win by outworking and outthinking the other guy on the sideline, right? And he does. He goes about outworking. When you listen to this guy talk about his process and how obsessed he is with the process and how much time he spends on his job, yeah, he's obsessed with it. Guess what, Auburn fans? He also has no idea how to golf. That's good news for a football program whose head football coach was making $9.5 million while playing golf every Sunday. That's insane. But anyways, I think he's also another one of these really, really good motivators, okay? I don't watch every single USF football game, but I don't recall a football game in which USF has come out flat or come out and got their doors blown off. Perhaps I could be recorrected here. Miami got them pretty good this year.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of in the last several years where they just got rattled early. Also, having watched them in the last several seasons under Golish, they do a great job of winning in the moments and stepping on teams' throats. I recall a fake punt called against Boise State in a moment where they're up like 14. Now I'm up 21. You ain't coming back now, big dog. I'm winning this football game. It's over with. Those types of things show signs of really, really good football coaches. All that being said, and I made this point at Alabama radio today, and I'll make this point. I made this point on Sunday's show. I'll make this point on Monday's show again today. This is, like you said, a wide choice football coach. And I guarantee you can find quotes. And Auburn fans, maybe not because they haven't played Tennessee all that often. They haven't played Mississippi State all that often. But I guarantee you can find some of these Auburn defenders and Auburn propagandists. I guarantee you can find them making jokes about the wide choice offense on social media, about gimmick offense, about this, that, and the other, about that. And based off my interactions with them yesterday on social media, I don't know if their fan base knew who they hired or what they hired. And look, I'm a believer in it. You guys know I'm a hypo guy. I believe in this type of stuff.
Right.
I think it can work. It's college football. You schematical advantage, that's not a negative, big dog. I'm good with it. Like, I'm here for the offense. But it's something that you have to know. Like, you have to know what you're getting into. You have to know that now, as an Auburn football fan, you've got to go to war on social media with these anti-recruiting narratives. You have to. You got to start talking about how wide receiver development is available in your offense. You have to start talking about how it's not a place where quarterbacks don't go to die. Like Tennessee fans take up the sword. They go to war. This is a new war you got to go do. This is your new war. And I gave them a little taste of the first anti-recruitment spill for Cam Coleman, who, by the way, he's getting the phone calls. Cam Coleman, I promise you right now, is being told, hey, buddy, you like running hitches? You like running goes? That's it? That's all you want to run? That's all you're going to run? He's already getting the anti-recruitment right now, I promise you. And their first little taste of it, they're like, what are you talking about? His offense does good numbers. I'm sure his offense does do good numbers, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does great numbers. I'm not talking about numbers. I'm talking about style. This is a different style. You better start to love this style. You better know what this style is. I don't think they did.
In fairness, though, I do think hitches and goes was basically all they gave Cam Coleman this year. So
Exactly.
It wouldn't be.
Exactly. And they didn't love that.
No, they did not.
They didn't love that. They didn't love the way it looked. You know what I'm saying? And now we're going to be wide choice. And now Jesse Palmer is going to talk about our quarterback as if he can't play because he's in a pick and stick offense. I have to deal with that now?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're ready for this war. I'm trying to prepare them for it, not trying to hate on them. I think it's a good hire.
I think it's an even trade-off, though, if you start going 9-3 and 8-4, though.
Oh, yeah, win, baby. That's it. I think they've gotten to a point in this program that they're at that, right? You mentioned Tennessee. Tennessee was a 7-win program. That's what they were for 25 years. This has been a 7-win program for almost a decade now.
Yep.
Guys, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since Auburn's won at a high rate. So it doesn't matter. Get me a winner, baby. That's it. I think he's got to be adaptable, though. That's it. Just don't be hard-headed. I think he's an adaptable football coach. Would y'all rather talk about Kentucky or would you rather talk about Arkansas?
I would rather – I think we have more recency on Arkansas or a longer time to understand that hire and go about it.
The Will Stein thing's not quite official yet, and he's going to end up coaching the rest of the playoff run for Oregon as the offensive coordinator out there. But Will Stein reportedly going to be taking the head coaching job at Kentucky within 12 hours of firing Mark Stoops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They knew exactly
that was
what they were.
And that was
a formality, I
yeah,
guess.
and that was also like the Kentucky Wildcats are firing your head coach this late into you have to have an answer for who. So it makes sense, honestly.
All right. Man, this Arkansas thing, this Ryan Silverfield cat, the Memphis football coach, for those who don't know who Ryan Silverfield is, has been named the head football coach at Arkansas. And the reason it has led to I'm not even going to call it a riot in the streets. I'm going to call it a gathering of folks. And look, I'm going to be 100% honest that I think it was a gathering of folks. And you know I'm being honest because one of the people in the gathering of folks DM'd me this week and let me know that they took to the streets to let the Arkansas AD know that they didn't like this hire. But I saw videos of it and it was like 45 people. Now, it's not those 45 people's fault. I think that is a sign of where we are at right now in Arkansas football.
Yep.
And I have listened to every beat reporter out there. I've read, I've listened to the tweets, I've listened to fans out here lamenting the firing of Sam Pittman nowadays because they've realized where they've gotten. I don't think there's a lot of commitment to football at Arkansas right now, and that is where we are at. And look, I think we live in a day and age of athletics where maybe you don't need to be committed to football, and that's okay. And this sounds really, really harsh for a football place that in a football program that has real pride about itself. Okay, we're not talking about Kentucky football. We're talking about Arkansas football. They care about football out there at Arkansas, but they're really good at basketball right now. They're really good at baseball right now. And it costs a lot of money to be really good at those sports. And they can win national championships at those sports. I don't know if they'll ever win a national title anymore in football, and that's okay. Okay, the days of Darren McFadden going 12-1 in the SEC West and going to an SEC championship game, they might be gone, and that's all right because y'all got championships in baseball. Y'all got an opportunity to go win Final Fours or appearances in Final Fours in basketball. And I think Ryan Silverfield's going to learn this really, really quickly. Ryan Silverfield has gone from a place at Memphis that spent 5X on their roster, what places like Tulane, who won that conference this year or on the track to win that conference this year, spend on their roster. He went from the most expensive roster in that sport, in which he just lost a game against UAB with, all right, and though he did beat Arkansas this year with that expensive roster, to now a roster that spends at the bottom end of the Power 4 level and definitely the bottom end of the SEC level. So I don't expect much from Ryan Silverfield, and that's okay because I don't know how they expect much out of their football program, and I don't know how their athletic director, who is also the head of the College Football Playoff Committee, I don't know how he can expect much out of their head football coach.
Yeah, and I think that any Arkansas fan is trying to say we need the coach that's going to elevate our program to be contending for the playoff is flat out delusional. I think that the Arkansas fan base and what Arkansas fans desire from their football program is something to just get a little bit excited for, something to say, hey, we might get a few top 10 teams this year. We might get a really, really big bowl game. We might be an 8-4 team this year. I mean, this is a program that for basically a decade has just thrown out a bunch of 2-win, 3-win, 4-win, 5-win seasons to the point where it just kind of regurgitates its next
That
head coach.
1-8-4 with KJ Jefferson was fun, though, or whatever it was. It started 7-1, didn't it?
Yeah, the 9-4 season in 2021.
Man, them's was the days.
But I think
2022?
21.
Yeah, 2021.
Man, not all that long ago. Got a dub over Texas at home.
But I think that's what the peak of
Pig suey.
But that's what the peak of Arkansas football can be. I think that 8-4, really solid season. I mean, before that they had 4 wins.
Goalish would have been a home run.
Yeah, I
God,
agree.
Exactly. That's why I was like, this is it. This is what these guys needed.
On a lot, guys. They whiffed on James Franklin. They whiffed on Rhett Lashley. They whiffed on Alex Goalish. And that's why they're whiffing. Because you look at that job and you know they're not going to be committed to football. There's no way. And it's the schedule. I got to go play 9 SEC games. It's another reason why I'm looking at Will Stein like, for real? You finna take that Kentucky job?
Well, it's also
for real? Why not? I don't know how you feel about Mormonism, but like BYU might be a hell of a job there, Will Stein. Like, you're from Texas,
and that's why
recruit the Midwest. My God, dude, just hang out. I don't know if you want to take this Kentucky job.
And I can remember when the Arkansas job came open, and the names that were being leaked or that were being linked to the job were the ones that we're talking about right now, where Goalish was a potential opportunity. James Franklin. Those names, though, like James Franklin just got ran out of a Power 4 job, and now he's trying to resurrect his career again. If he goes to Arkansas, a place that has not bought into football, and he gets ran out of there, he's done. Like that's it for James Franklin. If Alex Goalish takes that Arkansas job and it's a dud out there, that guy's not getting another job somewhere else at a Power 4 level, at least for a few more years until he rebuilds. Like, it'll take time to rebuild your character if it doesn't work out there. And when you hear things like, we're not 100% bought into football, but we really like you, and these people care about football, that doesn't sound like a place where it's like, well, I can really go and excel here and really heighten my value.
Also,
in this sport.
Every time I see one of them Woo Pig Suey Touchdown Club videos, I don't know how long Yurichek's going to have that job. Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
They don't like that guy.
No.
They do not like that guy out there. And you piss off one billionaire, and there's only probably 4 or 5 of them out there with the Tysons and the Walmarts.
Yeah.
You out. You got to go. So we'll see. I think that BYU job is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting if it becomes available. Thoughts on the Will Stein thing?
I think it's a good hire.
Yeah, good hire. I mean, again, like the life of an Arkansas and Kentucky coach is supposed to last 4 to 5 years. And that's, you're either going to do really well and get poached elsewhere, or you're going to do really bad and you'll get fired and they'll start the process over.
Don't sleep on that BYU job.
Do not sleep on the BYU
It's a really
job.
good one.
Speaking of things you shouldn't sleep on, you shouldn't sleep on our friends over at Sleeper. What was that face
Nothing.
for?
Nothing. I'll tell you in a minute.
Sleeper, in case you're wondering, is a fantasy and sports real money gaming app that is focused on bringing people together through sports and gaming. It has become the fastest organically growing platform in the world with over 6 million active users. Those numbers are old. They have only gone up since then. Use promo code Brooks today to get a $100% deposit match up to $100. That means if you put $100 in, you will get another $100 for free. It's one of the best deals that they're offering right now. So head over to Sleeper and use promo code Brooks today. Start playing now.
Promo code Brooks, 100% deposit match up to $100 over there on Sleeper. We appreciate our friends over there at Sleeper. What a premier sponsor they have been all year long for us. Don't sleep on Sleeper. Head over there today. Has he talked about Will Stein to UK yet? Yes, we just kind of briefly did. It hasn't been official. It's rumored probably going to coach the rest of the college football playoff run out there with the Ducks. A really quick ascension here for Will Stein. Has been rumored already. Spent a year out there with Oregon after being UTEP's offensive coordinator, I think. A year with Oregon last year, another year this year, having a really good, successful year offensively. Had been rumored as one of these next guys as a head football coach. My feelings about Arkansas are very, very similar with my feelings about Kentucky. It's a tough place to win.
Very.
But you go 7-5 there 3 or 4 years in a row, you might get a better job.
That's exactly what it is.
And you're going to do so making $6-7 million a year.
Yep.
That's not a bad opportunity.
Nope.
Especially for a guy who I think 5 years ago was a high school football coach.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very young football coach, very quick ascension, good offensive mind. Think he'll do fine. Okay. Rivalry weekend, boys. My God.
Good Lord.
What a deliverance of football games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt like from Friday at noon until we shut the damn TVs off Sunday morning at 2 a.m. It was heat.
Yeah, I mean, even for the Egg Bowl, like despite the fact that Ole Miss started to run away with that game, everybody knew the importance of it. Everybody like watching it was more focused on all the surrounding headlines of it. So like even that was like,
I mean, one of the biggest scores of the week in terms of disparity was the Oregon-Washington game. And if you watch that one, that's a one-score game with 8.5 minutes
Very
left
much was.
before Oregon opened a can. I mean, it was a good weekend of college football. Let's start with the game out there. Ohio State gets a little bit of revenge over Michigan. I can't remember the final score. 29-9, 27-9?
27-9.
27-9. Guys, I talked about it on Sunday. I was extremely impressed with the offensive line from Ohio State.
Yeah.
I thought they picked up the kitchen sink
from
Michigan. They threw everything at them. There wasn't a dirty pocket one from Julian Sand for 4 quarters.
And that was one of those moments like early on in the game where despite the fact that Michigan jumps out to the 6-0 lead, they got all the momentum. It's looking like, oh, is Michigan going to do it again? Are they going to defense their way to get another win over these guys? But watching Ohio State's offense, while it wasn't just like operating at a high level all the time, especially in the first half, watching that happen where it's like, oh, Michigan doesn't have a chance in the trenches today defensively. Like those guys aren't even getting a push. I was like, this one's wrapped. If Julian Sand gets to sit back there.
1 and 8 are good football players from Michigan.
Yeah.
But they're not what they were. And how could you be?
Right.
You know what I mean? How could you ever be what you were? They had 4 first-round draft picks that year. They won the national championship.
Yeah.
Playing the 4-down linemen. They had Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham,
Ojabo,
and
Aiden
Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to be that good again. We've experienced this firsthand. They'll never be this good again down here at Georgia on the defensive line. They'll never.
No.
So like you have to find other ways to win. They got to get Bryce Underwood some damn help. Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I keep getting cold takes exposed tweeted about my C.J. Stroud, Cam Newton thing. I'm still holding Bryce Underwood stock just like I was Arch Manning stock because they ain't helping this man out there at Michigan. He got no help.
And I mean, I felt like personally this game was kind of you could kind of see the turn it was taking when Michigan opened the game with a really explosive run play and then immediately turns over Julian Sand. You're like, wow, this is the ideal start. And you look at the scoreboard and it's like, oh, they're not even up a full touchdown.
Oh, scored. They're down already.
Yeah.
As soon as they get the ball back, they might be down 7-6.
Yeah,
they're down 7-6.
Yeah, they're not even up a full touchdown. It felt very just much like, okay, Michigan is very obviously not going to move the football. Ohio State's going to figure out a way to get 20-some-odd points here. This game, it felt over by halftime.
I felt as if Ohio State faced adversity but they still haven't been tested since August 30th.
Yeah.
No. We've been talking
that was
about
like, on the road, down 6-0. Defense is stopping us right now. Oh my God, they can run the football a little bit. Oh, never mind. We're okay. It's all
That felt
good.
like watching a high schooler race a fifth grader, where you gave the fifth grader a 10-second head start.
That's a little disrespectful.
That's what it felt like. Where it was like, all right, we spotted you. We spotted you a little bit.
I did feel like if that thing was played indoors, probably 59-17.
Yeah, I mean the weather probably.
They probably boat race them.
I don't know if their defense isn't that bad. I don't know that.
No, I think the offense is that good. I think it got to a point where Ohio State could run the football.
Yeah.
Michigan could not pressure them. And if that's the recipe, they're going to score 50. Like, that's the way Ohio State offense works, because the Carnell Tate touchdown, the design on that was – it has been the answer the last, 4 years of Ohio State football. They've had a dominant X. Since Marvin Harrison's – we're maybe going to try to make him win the Heisman season, they have had a dominant X. And they get into 3-by-1 sets, and everybody's like, all right, just double team the freak, and you'll take everything away.
Foolish.
And then next thing you know, Emeka Ibuka right down the middle of the field. Next thing you know, Carnell Tate right down the middle of the field. The reason why, they got him one-on-one with the safety, they double moved him, touchdown.
Yeah.
It has been the recipe for Ohio State murdering you for the last 4 years, and if you can't stop the run, that's what's going to happen. And that's what happened. And like I said, I think if it's inside, it's just
the
a
best
boat race.
The best take I had from that Ohio State game, despite the fact that I agree with you that I still don't think that they've truly been tested yet, and they may not this weekend either, but we'll see, is that you won that game handedly, like you beat them and by multiple scores, and it felt like a dominant win, but it was still so simple. It felt so bland and simple for you. Like it just like you just kind of lulled them to sleep, and as the game was going on, you knew Ohio State was going to win. And while they had some flashy plays, like the touchdown you were talking about, like while they had those moments, it still just felt like a pretty bland win for them.
Honestly, I thought the most impressive thing was that Dave Portnoy didn't fire Sharon Moore after the game. Iron Bowl boys.
Ooh, man.
Man,
This is what you dream of for this
right?
football game.
I'm saying.
This is it right here.
That was a ball game.
Oh, I loved every minute of it.
We'll talk about it.
A couple of Auburn always does this, I feel like, or at least the past few years against Alabama. I feel like they have brought a really good defensive scheme against them, and I feel like they've executed at a high rate. Now they had some moments where Crawford's jumping off sides on a crucial play, and it's like that's the last thing you can do in your own home stadium. You're going to give these guys a first down. Like, can't do those things.
Ken Lee's going to get a face mask on third and a zip code.
Yeah, like those moments, it's like that's also Auburn football. Like that's also what they've been doing all year. It's like those moments also happen, and then you have an opportunity to turn Ty Simpson over. You can't have that. Like you don't execute there. But everywhere else in that game, I mean, they made life hell for Ty Simpson a lot of that game. Alabama kind of got a run game going a little bit, but
I freaking love watching those young DBs from Auburn.
yeah.
16, 17, 19, 25. They fly around the football. And notice I say young DBs. 16 and 17 play in the box. They play linebacker. That number 17 can't be but 195 pounds, and he's playing SEC Mike. It's crazy the way that they fly around the football.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch that defense play. I can't wait. I hope, honestly, we'll talk about it. We didn't talk about it earlier. I hope they retain Durkin, because I don't want to see that nucleus of defensive players scatter across football.
Yeah.
I would like to see what that Auburn defensive nucleus looks like in 18 months. Let me see it, because I think they'll be insane.
This game felt like the exact definition or the epitome of what Auburn football was for the 2025 season, in that it found ways to continuously defy itself on ways to failure. You get Alabama in really good third down positions. You win on first and second down, jump off sides, get a penalty. You finally find a way to muster up some explosive plays, but guess what? Now you're dropping the football. Now you're fumbling. I mean, they had like 4 fumbles in that game. It was bound that Cam Coleman was going to land in the hands of an Alabama player. Like, they have done this all season to where one thing can't go right, so the other doesn't. It was frustrating to watch,
With
honestly.
the way that their defense was constantly giving the ball back to their offense, no matter how bad Auburn has been offensively and how great Alabama has been playing defensively, they were bound to score points.
Right.
Guys, they forced 6 3-and-outs.
Yeah.
Auburn's defense forced 6 3-and-outs in this football game. When you consistently, and a lot of that midway through the second and third quarter when Auburn's coming back. When you consistently put the defense back on the field, bad things are bound to happen. Like the first play of the second half.
Yep.
Bad things, goofy shit is bound to happen, especially also when they got 3 really, really good weapons. Like,
That's what I was going to say.
Those guys at Auburn that play wide receiver are damn good.
Yeah.
Eric Singleton, number 4, number 3, and
Malcolm
obviously Cam
Simmons.
Coleman. Malcolm Simmons.
Yeah.
The other kid's really, really good too, number 4, the Parrish kid or whatever, Coleman. They're so good, all of them. They're really, really good weapons.
Yeah, so and that's what I was going to point out is giving that, like, because I feel like this game also got to a point in the first half where I was like, man, their defense is playing their ass off, and they're doing everything that they can to help themselves win, but I don't know if this offense can do it. Like, I remember, like, when they got the ball and they had an opportunity to go and take the lead or tie it back up, I was like, there's no way this offense is going to get back into the end zone. But they found explosive plays because they gave them enough opportunities. Like, those guys were bound to make a play happen.
We'll talk about it more in the local hour because we got a massive SEC championship game coming up that features this football team, obviously. But that's as up and down as Ty's played all year. He played bad against Oklahoma, in my opinion. But there were flashes in that football game of why he has remained the number 1 quarterback on my list all year long.
Understandable.
There are 4 or 5 plays in that film study from this morning where that kid's taking 5-step drops, no hitch, getting the ball out with pressure in his face against cover 0, throwing 18-yard out routes. Like, college kids aren't doing that. They're just not. So there were plays, the touchdown to Isaiah Horton, say it's a push-off if you want, but the fact that he got that ball.
The throw,
off, the throw is nuts. So there's a lot going on right there. We'll talk about it, like I said, in the local hour. Boys, we got one more football game to react to before we get out of here. Actually, 2 more. Let's skip Vandy in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Pavia in New York.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do they fire Tim Banks, defense coordinator?
You better.
You better.
You better.
Jonathan, they were 7th in the country in defense last year. They were peaking. They went from 90, 37, 25, 7th, 92nd. Is it a blip on the radar or is it a fireable offense?
It was bad.
It was really bad. It was
really
bad all
bad.
year. It's consistently bad. I'm with you. Tackling is abhorrent. Absolutely awful. Vandy or Miami on a neutral field?
I have no clue. I have no clue.
Vandy or Notre Dame on a neutral field?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Vandy or BYU on a neutral field?
Again,
Vandy.
Vandy or Utah on a neutral field?
Vandy.
probably Vandy.
Vandy or Texas on a neutral field?
Texas. They beat them. You got to say Texas.
Yeah, I mean Texas.
They beat them in Austin, Jonathan.
Texas
But they
gets
beat
them
'em.
the
I'm
home
with
field.
you. I go Texas too. I didn't mean to toss it in like that. I throw all that there because,
That's who they're going up against.
guys, they're not a playoff team.
No,
And
I
it
agree.
Sucks. It sucks.
It's unfortunate.
They had a historic year. They did something they hadn't done since the 1930s. Any other year, probably a playoff team. This year they won't be. Their trophy will be a trip
I
to
mean,
New
they
York.
fell victim to exactly what we talked about earlier in the year of, like, when there's going to be 5, 10, and 2 teams, and you're sitting there as one of them, someone's getting left out. Vanderbilt's getting left out.
Any thoughts on the Texas win over A&M? It's a great win, 27-17. I felt like Texas was the team that could run the football and consistently throw the football into winning windows, and I didn't have either of those two things happening in that football game. That's why they won it. It surprised me. But here's my take on Texas, and I feel as if I got to get this off my chest. They've always been good enough to beat anyone. That's why they were preseason ranked the number 1 football team in the country. They have a roster that is good enough to beat anybody any given Saturday. They have. There's no doubt about that. They're Texas. They're the University of Texas. They're one of the best football rosters that there is. They're one of the best football programs that there is in college football. I just wish they knew that. I wish they talked about that right now, and I think they're losing sight of that, and we'll talk about that here in a second. I understand the lobbying. I get it. You want to go play for a college football playoff. That's why your coach is going on the media rampage, and he is doing a great job of it. I would say he's lobbying for his football team better than anybody else has ever done it in the college football playoff era. He's doing a great job. Hell, today he pointed out that Miami threw a Hail Mary up 31-7 to make sure they beat Pitt better than Notre Dame beat Pitt, or as comparable as Pitt did. They're lobbying, right? He pointed it out today. He's gone beyond pointing out that his football team has a playoff resume, and that's awesome. And he's going beyond by pointing out that other people aren't as good as his football program. He's doing a great job. He's doing his job. All right? But I think we've gone into this territory where Texas fans are now going, Well, we lost 3 games, but like we're good enough to beat anybody. Like, guys, you are a top 10 football program. You are a top 5 football program. Why is it okay? I saw a tweet today where Sarkisian is threatening to change his schedule and stop scheduling top 10 football programs out of conference because of what's happening right now. It's a great lobbying point. My problem is the Texas fans in the comments going, well, yeah, Indiana did it, so why shouldn't we? Because you're the University of Texas. It's Texas football. I'm old enough to remember when Texas football ran the SEC. I'm old enough to remember that. I'm old enough to remember when Texas was good enough to think that they should beat anybody. That was their standard. Not we went 2-3 versus the top 10 football teams or whatever the metrics are right now. I don't really care. It's frustrating to me how we are watching a football program who should hold themselves accountable to we are going to beat the ass out of anybody we face any day we face them. And now it's, well, we should do what Indiana does. Huh?
I am so glad that you brought this up because it has been eating at me as well. Looking at, and here's a reply from my mentions, my little old Twitter account compared to yours. A reply from my mentions about how Texas, if you're 10-2, if you just put it at that face value, doesn't matter who you lose to, doesn't matter if you still lose to Florida or whatever. If you're just 10-2 and you take care of business everywhere else, you're a playoff team. And the reply is UGA is something like 16-1 versus top 10 teams, and Kirby is 50-1 overall. If you're saying the price of admission is to the CFP is beat Georgia at home, only Bama qualifies. Yeah, Bama, a team who lost an out-of-conference game in week 1 to a team that they probably shouldn't have lost to in week 1. But you know what they did? They handled business against Georgia, and they handled business everywhere else, and now they're in the SEC championship game, and now they're going to be in the playoff more than likely. That's who you compare yourself to. That's who you want to be, is the Bama and the Georgia in the SEC. But then when it comes to, like, push comes to shove, it's like, well, we had to play Ohio State. No, you lost to Florida. That's why. That's what it really boils down to.
We had to play 5 top 10 teams. Buddy, you are supposed to be one of them. Oh, golly, I lost 5 of the races against the other Lamborghinis that I raced. Well, maybe we need a new driver. We don't need a new head coach.
Well,
I'm just saying. Why are we moving bars? Why are we constantly moving bars? I understand the head coach is lobbying, but the head coach's lobbying has changed standards at that football program is what it's starting to be, is what I'm worried about.
I mean, it's also
That's what I'm worried about. It's Texas football. It should be top 3 results. That's what I want.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's cherry picking the results of your schedule. Everyone wants to talk about the 3 wins we have over ranked opponents. Everyone wants to talk about how great they looked when they beat Texas A&M. They didn't look like a top 12 team when they played Mississippi State. They didn't look like a top 12 team when they played Kentucky. They didn't look like a top 12 team when they played Georgia. They didn't look like a top 12 team when they played Florida. They didn't look like a top 12 team when they beat UTSA by 17 points. That's almost half of your regular season schedule right there where you don't really look good. Why are you arguing that you should be a playoff team? That's my point on it. And notice how I left out the Ohio State game there, so you can throw that in there if you want.
It's championship weekend. We got a lot of previews coming up this week. We got a local hour to get to and some things to surprise new guests with. I do want to ask you this. Hypothetical scenario right here, Monday, December 1st. Texas Tech loses to BYU by a score. BYU is the Big 12 champion and going on to the college football playoff.
Yep.
Georgia beats Alabama by a score. Okay? Alabama is thus 10-3. Texas Tech is now 11-2. Who's the college football playoff member?
Oh, I mean, Texas Tech gets the nod over Bama.
Why?
Because the record.
Just because the record? I'm with you, by the way. I think the college football playoff committee this year has set a precedence for they don't give a shit about who you've beaten.
Well, the precedence
all they care about is justifying losses.
And let's put it this way as well.
And Texas Tech doesn't have a Florida State loss on their schedule.
Texas Tech is going to walk into this weekend as a top 7 team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, more than likely, going to walk into this weekend as the 10th ranked team in the country. You can't justify kicking one team completely out of the top 12 as a top 7 team for losing conference championship weekend. You can somewhat justify kicking the 10 seed out.
Bama's only hope, like they control their own destiny. They can beat
Sure.
They can beat
Yeah,
Georgia in the SEC
for sure.
championship.
You
There's
win,
no
you're
doubt.
in.
But if they don't handle their own business, they got to sit on their hands and hope BYU loses.
Yeah.
Very true.
Oh, yeah.
I think. All right. Let's go to the local hour, boys. Surprise them, Jonathan. Smack them in the head.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog?
What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
Shut up and let's grind. Hey, let's trust and press the crease, please. Find any leftover color and go stick your nose in it. He is committed to staying at 9 feet or 9 yards inside the box because the defensive tackle is in the belly of Danny Glover or Donald Glover. That butt ain't never been so tight. Now we got 2 D's in 1 hole basically. Or we can try to identify the 5 that we're gonna select, hope those 5 come, put the back on the other one. If he doesn't come, or if he does, the back. You see what I'm saying? We can play roulette or whatever, or try to play a guessing game. He's not going to the high hole, is he? Hey, if he wants to get some of my belly, he can get it. You know what I mean? He's coming where he kind of like finishes and like rolls on top of a guy. So we better be getting hard. I will say again, and I will repeat until the end of time, find the crease, trust it, and press it. And then explode through it.
Wow.
It's Dontrell Glover?
Dontrell.
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 You can call him Donnie for short.
You know what? I think this is football brain, but my mom used to do this all the time. You know, my name is Brooks. My brother's name is Blake. The dog's name is Fred. She would go, Blake, Fred, Brooks. And then I would, you know, she was trying to get me. I don't know how the dog got second place, but it's what it is. It is what it is. It's nothing I've ever worried about, but you know, that's how my brain works. And the other thing, the way my brain works with names is if I F it up once, I'm gonna F it up for eternity.
Yeah.
It's gonna be messed up.
Yeah.
Plenty of classic examples on Georgia's roster with such.
Oh, yes.
It's how we ended up with Brent Brett.
That's how we ended up with Brent Brett.
You can't ever mess it up if you do it that way.
Nope.
Just cover all the tracks.
Welcome in. If you are brand new to the network, that's a little segment we call Ditties. We talk a lot of ball around here, and every once in a while I'd be saying some suspicious things. It is what it is. You know what? You know? What are you going to do? Stop talking about ball?
Can't.
Never.
Have you heard the thing I said about Auburn's balls?
About what?
Have you heard it?
Oh, yeah,
Did y'all watch Sunday show?
Got to do something about the balls.
We got to do something about Auburn's balls. Auburn's balls were slipping all over the place in that Iron Bowl. Couldn't nobody keep hands on the ball. We got to do something. Too glossy of a ball out there at Auburn. That thing is very, very shiny, which tells me no tack on the ball. No tack on the ball. Very, very slippery balls out there on the plains. Got to watch out. Welcome into the local hour. We got a loaded one for you. I got film notes. We got Jared Curtis news, injury details, what UGA has to do different this time around against the Alabama Crimson Tide, and all that good stuff. We got Georgia Tech reactions and a whole lot more. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, rate, review, and if you have not already, no Super Chubs to address, right?
There were
We have
a
a
few
few.
in the
Okay.
National Hour.
Let's hit these right quick because I don't want people dipping out. Did you give a take on Oklahoma State hiring Chad Morris? It is Chad Morris, right?
I believe
Pretty
so.
sure.
Chad Morris. I feel that it went under the radar. I think it's a good hire. Yeah, guys out there winning at North Texas. I think he does a really good job offensively.
Eric Morris.
Eric Morris. Chad Morris was the Arkansas coach that flamed out. Eric Morris. I think he's a good offensive mind. Something to be noted about his player identification. How the hell you find a backup quarterback in high school that never really plays, that comes for you and starts some plays like that as a true freshman, says a lot about you. Or as a freshman. I think he's a redshirt freshman. But nonetheless, I mean, my God. Love the show, guys. Do y'all have thoughts on the Buckeyes have played a lot less snaps than most out there and how that helps them go Bucks?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's
Part
less.
of,
I mean, look, dude, we give a lot of high-level analysis. It's pretty simple to say that the fact that you guys haven't been pushed is really, really good for both the health of your roster and the development of those underneath your starters. There's probably not a second unit that's played more snaps than Ohio State's units this year.
Yup.
I would, yeah, for
And
sure.
you know why that's going to matter? because God forbid you sustain an injury. God forbid you sustain an injury and, oh, well, it's okay. This guy's played 700 snaps this year because we've been beating the shit out of everybody on our schedule. Of course, it makes a lot of difference for what you got going forward. Cole Morgan says, he who shall not be named, Jimmy Sexton, pulling another big coaching signing. Do you think he has overexposed his name to the public backlash and regulators? I don't think Jimmy Sexton gives a damn.
No, he does not.
He does not.
I think Jimmy Sexton gives a damn. I also think a guy like that's way too powerful to even – what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Nothing.
What are you going to sanction?
Yeah.
You're not sanctioning.
What are you going to regulate?
Nothing.
Make some new rule where you can't rep agents or coaches and media personalities?
Maybe.
You're going to take out the entire agency market.
Yeah.
They all rep both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Are we going to have to start being rep by movie star agents?
That'd be pretty cool.
Miss me.
Get us in some movies.
I ain't going out to L.A. to talk to some guy about football. No. Do the events play out differently in Oxford if Ole Miss gets an SEC championship bid as far as Lane coaching in the postseason? No, because of National Signing Day. Can't. That's why I tweeted about on Saturday. I don't know what they're waiting for. It doesn't matter if you play in the SEC championship game. The guy can't be the coach. He got to go. He's the LSU head football coach. Song recommendation for Comrade Kirby, Gypsy Woman, Ann Arbor.
I don't know if I've heard
Reality_witness says we need a 16-team playoff. Yeah, I mean, hell, why not
No,
just
we
go
do
to
not.
36?
No.
Shit.
No.
Just keep pushing.
Wrong.
Keep pushing. All right, let's get into the local hour. Let's start with good news. You want good news?
Oh, I
love
love some
good
good
news.
news.
There's a lot of job openings right now.
A lot.
A ton of them.
Dude, Arkansas just hired Memphis' head football coach that just lost to UAB.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
You know
job
what I mean?
openings, a lot of names being thrown around. on
All
big
over the
boards.
place. I mean, a lot of head coaches that are getting new jobs, hiring new coordinators, doing all kinds of stuff. And a lot of people lobbying, a lot of agents lobbying for new contracts. Hey, let's put my guy up for this job. Maybe he'll take it. Maybe he'll get a new raise where he's at. Boys, Glenn Schumann's name is nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found.
Like,
Nope.
ain't even being linked in a
I'm at the point
USA
now,
Today article.
I don't even see fan bases saying, like, this is someone I want. Like, Glenn Schumann has just kind of been forgotten. And I don't know necessarily what's caused it. Georgia's defense hasn't been as elite as it was the previous few years, but he's still a very, very good defensive coordinator. He's still, we thought, would be sought after. I mean, there are people all around the Georgia football program and in the media space and in the fan base that think that Glenn Schumann will not be at the DC for Georgia next year simply because something's going to come open that he'll take it. And that just has not been the case thus far.
Yeah, it's weird for a guy to go from last season and previous off seasons where it's, oh, he had an opportunity to go coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, but he turned that down. Oh, he interviewed for the North Carolina job, didn't get that. He's still going to be at Georgia. Like, where these stepping stones are happening and he's being leaked. Like, he was one of the first names leaked out I can remember last year. Like, when head coaching jobs came open, it was, hey, watch out for Glenn Schumann. This is one of the top risers in college football. To now, I don't even recall a point in time at all during the coaching carousel where it was Glenn Schumann is a name you need to keep an eye on, or like that's a name, like underrated name that you need to, like, maybe that happens for the Memphis job. I don't know, but it just hasn't happened.
You know what absolutely blew my mind today? As somebody who's covered this guy for 7 years now, he's 35 years old.
Ooh,
That is easy to forget.
That's young.
He's 35 years old. He's been a defensive coordinator for 4 seasons. We are just scratching what this is ultimately going to be.
Yeah.
So, you know, his protege, his predecessor, his best closest friend, I would imagine right about now at this point in his career, is Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart stayed in Tuscaloosa for 9 years.
2008 to 2015.
Yeah.
So
7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he was there for a long time before the job. Not Tulane came open. Not North Carolina came open. Georgia came open.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could see Glenn Schumann hanging out on this, not hanging out, but like impacting this staff for a long time before the perfect job comes open.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the ideal scenario for you because you don't have to worry about poaching. You don't have to worry about finding a new DC. Like, the core nucleus of the Georgia football coaching staff has remained intact for 2 or 3 seasons now, and it looks like it's going to remain intact for 2 or 3 more at least. Like, Mike Bobo's not going anywhere.
All right. sorry to cut you off. Florida Panhandle Riders keeps asking, will Brooks Austin ever coach college ball? I have no intentions of being a college football coach. I would take interest, like I said the other day in one of our videos, I would definitely take interest in maybe being director of player personnel or being involved on the roster building side of things in college football, relationships, recruiting, player development, developing young men. Like we talked about this on Sunday's show. Very passionate about that line of business and that line of work. I don't think I want to, at 31 years old, I do not want to start the trend of starting to move my family around like it requires to be a top-end college coach. That being said as well, if I'm ever a coach, if I ever have a whistle in my mouth every single day during a practice, it's within a 45-mile radius of the studio at a high school. So that's where it'll be.
The only take I'm going to give on this Glenn Schumann thing is that, like, I know that he's already chummed up the waters. Like, he's put his name out there before. Like, his name has been linked to jobs. Like, that shows that he is interested in potentially going somewhere else eventually, but it hasn't happened this time. So what that leads me to believe is the next time that you see Glenn Schumann's name linked to a job, that is where he will go.
All right, other news to talk about is Jared Curtis. So I get tagged in this. I get asked about this. And this is the byproduct of being a media personality. It's a byproduct of being a reporter. It's a byproduct of being an insider. You constantly get asked about other people's reporting. So I am going to tell you what I think. It is not me talking about anybody else. This is what I think. This is what I know about this situation from my end and the inside information that I have. Okay, that's the preface. Jared Curtis and Jared Curtis's camp have very, very frequent conversations with the University of Georgia. Always have, always will, continue to have conversations. I am of the impression that Jared Curtis and Kirby Smart talk at least once a week, man to man, person to person, okay? And I am of the impression that Georgia talks to somebody involved with Jared Curtis every other day. They are very much so in communication. I tell you that to also tell you that nowhere in the last 6 weeks, at no time, has Jared Curtis or anybody involved in Jared Curtis's camp ever expressed anything that made Georgia feel as if this kid's about to flip to Vanderbilt? We better start worrying about this. You guys were standing right there with me on the sideline at the Georgia Tech game. There is no fear from a Jared Curtis has told us this is real. There is also, you guys can attest to this, there has never been a conversation about, hey, am I playing year one? I better play year one because they're letting me play year one. There has never been any leverage about that. I have not been privy to any conversation about, hey, they are paying me this. They are offering to pay me this. You better come up on your price tag. I have not heard anything about that. All right? So here's what I think is going on. Georgia feels really confident. So either Jared Curtis and Jared Curtis's entire camp is 100% lying to the University of Georgia and is willing to burn every single bridge that they have ever built at that program, to the point where if it doesn't work out at Vandy and he does flip, that there's no possibility that he ever plays at Georgia. Or Steve Whitflong or whoever is reporting this, who I believe, Steve Whitflong is an OG. Steve Whitflong is the best in this business at what he does. What I think is happening is that Curtis's agent and the Vanderbilt camp has expressed growing momentum and growing possibility that this is ultimately going to happen. I don't think it is. That's the way I feel about this situation. And if I were in Steve Whitflong's shoes and Vandy and the agent and Jared Curtis's camp were never shutting it down, then we have to go with it as if it is a possibility, because it is it's a real possibility. I just don't think it's happening because Jared Curtis has never, ever expressed it as if it is about to happen to Georgia. And if it were, I think they would know by now.
Yeah, and I think going back to the origin of this story, where Jared Curtis is going on a visit to Vanderbilt, and that's when the smoke starts coming out of hey, this might be a possibility. Vanderbilt seems to be all in on Jared Curtis. Obviously, they really like him. They want him to be there. They're doing everything they can. But then there's these quotes that come out from Jared Curtis's camp of, hey, we're just doing a solid here. we're all Georgia. I'm a Georgia Bulldog commit. Like everything that you've seen coming from Jared Curtis or people connected to Jared Curtis on social media or in articles or anything like that has stated that they are Georgia Bulldogs. Like that's where they're going. That's like their full intentions. But everything from the other side is, yeah, we're trying and we're doing everything that we can, and we think it's a possibility. So it's just like you kind of have to take everything with a grain of salt and take it for face value.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the interesting stories here, and I know that Georgia fans are probably worried about it considering what happened with Dylan Raiola and what's happened, with flips, especially at the quarterback position before. But I would be kind of shocked if this took place. I mean, this would be a monumentous occasion if Jared Curtis were to, at this point, leave Georgia at the altar after going through everything that we've seen go through. And it's not like there's really a relationship built with Vanderbilt. He's befriended Diego Pavia. He went to a game, and supposedly there's talks behind closed doors of he's asking for this or he's getting this from Vanderbilt. So, supposedly.
I think either, like I said, to boil it all down into one bite-sized, clippable soundbite, which we're terrible about around here. Either Jared Curtis, in every conversation he's had with the University of Georgia over the last 6 weeks, is stone-cold lying, or Vanderbilt and the agent are stirring up a narrative worth reporting on. And forcibly, you have to report on that.
Right.
If you get told this, you have to go with it. So don't be out here doing it's clickbait. They're using the name. I saw a bunch of memes about this today. I don't believe that. Like Steve Whitflong has been doing this for 25 years. What does it serve him to if ultimately this doesn't happen? But brother, the internet's going to eviscerate him. Every Georgia meme account's going to go into his mentions and tell him he's an idiot. It serves him no purpose to do this unless he believes it, which the reporting is 100% reportable. So there's that.
By the way, it's Steve Wiltfong, right?
What am I doing?
Whitflong.
Whitflong.
Yeah.
Only
My bad,
fitting
Steve.
that was a topic at the top of the hour about names.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens.
You know what we need to do?
What do we
Take a
need to do?
smooth breaker. You know me.
Understandable.
When I'm vicing this season, I'm vicing with quality. I'm a big fan of Lucy Breakers, particularly the apple cider. Listen to Kiki ASMR.
Wow.
Hey, if you're listening on audio right now, that's a Lucy Breaker being popped around here. All right. Lucy Breaker, promo code FGN. You get 20% off today. All right. I am a big fan. All right. What I also like about Lucy Breakers is when you're done, they also have a tear-offable and replaceable lid so you can get rid of your pillow pouches right there in the top of the can. Lucy, again, promo code FGN for 20% off today. And here comes the fine print. It's very, very important that I read the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. All right, warning, this product does include nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. And if you're going to be addicted or potentially addicted to nicotine, might as well do it with quality over there with our friends at Lucy's. Shout out to those guys. More recruiting news. Keelan Jones flipped to Georgia Tech today. You would have known that was going to happen 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/Brooks Austin. We're already up to 31 kids.
I think it's 31.
We know of 2 more for a fact that we've already told Patreon about. A third.
Yeah, there's 3.
A third.
3.
That are going to end up in this class. That puts you at 34. So, yeah, one had to go. All right, and it was Keelan Jones. So there's that. National Signing Day is 36 hours from now. I don't know if you know that.
Coming up.
Raise your hand in the chat right now if you've been here since 2020. Was that our first megacast?
May have been the next year.
2021 signing class?
I was here.
Raise your hand if you've been in the chat every single year on National Signing Day when we do our megacast. It's a big time around here. All right, it's a big time on this show. We love to do that. We're going to do it again this year. It's probably going to feel a little bit different for a lot of you who've been watching it every year. We won't go through all 34. We're going to go through 12 mandated film studies. All right, I put a word out throughout the building today and took a poll. said, hey, if I have to watch a film of any of these commits, who do I have to watch? Those 12 names, we're going to watch those 12 films tomorrow or Wednesday on National Signing Day. I will also, as always, do my guys. All right, we'll bring you our 5 my guys. The rules on that, they have to be outside the top 100 on the consensus rankings. All right, and we'll bring you 5 my guys. All right, those 5 will be picked from the 34 commitment videos or highlight tapes that I will ultimately go watch. All right, make sense?
Makes complete sense.
That's what we got going on Wednesday. Tomorrow, I'm stoked about tomorrow. Tomorrow at noon on this channel, we're going to go watch the Alabama and Georgia game on all 22 together. Unscripted, unprompted,
You're excited
no
about
notes,
that?
complete rewatch. Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's a great ball. Why are you not excited about it?
I don't like reliving games like that.
Oh, that's right. You know, Bama Brooks don't care about none of that.
Yeah.
He wants to pour salt.
We had one of our favorite moments after that football game when I was extremely proud of my Georgia State Patrol patch that finally sits behind us.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Like, isn't this great? Look how great this is.
Kirby's all fat lipping, and then the post-game press conference, and I'm like, ooh, look, GSP sticker. He didn't like that too much.
I mean, I was just like, it's cool, man. It's great.
Cool. But, yeah, we got that going tomorrow. I've got a lot of film notes. What do you want? Do you want Georgia Tech film notes? Do you want Bama film notes? What do you want?
Let's put Georgia Tech to rest and do Georgia Tech film notes because we've got a lot to look forward to with this Bama. So,
Quarterback didn't play well.
No, he didn't.
No, he
No
did
way
not.
around it. No way around it. I think the good, hopeful mind says that we should have to get that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'll do it now. Will you hand me that? Will you hand me that? Does it still work?
Yeah. It's quality, man. I made it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if Gunnar Stockton goes out there and throws for 350 yards against them Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and finishes the season with, 3,000 total yards or 3,200 total yards, 34 total touchdowns, I mean, he's liable to be the 4th person invited to New York.
Definitely.
I don't think that's what he's all about. I think Gunnar Stockton realized if I go play to my standard against Georgia Tech right now, the story all next week when we're going to play for an SEC title game, because I'm already foreseeing that Texas is going to beat Texas A&M, that's going to be the story about me going to New York. It's all going to be about me. We're running the piss out the football today. Defense looks like they're not going to give up all but maybe 6 points. I'm going to play bad. I'm going to make it about my guys.
That is definitely a tinfoil hat theory. I don't know if I'm buying that one. However, it's
Now, I don't know if it was the opening drive, but one of the first drives that Georgia had, and Gunnar Stockton staring down a Georgia Tech defender would likely go against your hypothesis right there. So there's that.
So he just played bad?
Hey, in the words of Gunnar Stockton, any day the Dogs win is a good day.
So he just played bad. They played an extremely aggressive cover 3. Hard press bail. All right? I mean, walk up in your face, give you a jab, and then get to the high third. All right? What it did to me, in my opinion, it kind of disrupted timing a little bit. But it was like it takes away the easy, like, oh, they're in off cover 3, let's throw a hitch. Like, you can't do stuff like that. It basically turns into kind of man-to-man out there on the islands with some midfield help, so you kind of just funnel everything to the middle of the field. But there's a lot in that film study that we released this morning that needs to be addressed. I'll take you through a couple of them. I think I got 100 yards worth of explosives that make that game look totally different if the quarterback does his job and executes at the level that we know he can, right? And I said this in our film study. I have no qualms or worries about being this openly critical on a platform this large about a player like Gunnar because, A, I know for 100% fact he would never be watching a slapstick organization like this. Also, B, if he were, he's harder on himself than I ever would be. So we can talk about these things. He turned down a sail route on the 3rd play of the football game to Oscar. It's a 30-yard reception. We have to throw it. We have to throw it every single time if we're going to win every single game moving forward like we have to. The pick that he forced was absolutely 100% a forced football, but like we have the comeback working to the left side of the progression that pre-snap, our eyes probably should have took us there post-snap anyways. They were showing us a cover 3 shell. They had been playing a cover 3 shell for 8 straight snaps. probably should have been working to Dylan Bell in a comeback. Instead, we're working in the middle of the field where in cover 3, all of the hook curl players are right there. It's getting nice and ugly. We don't need to be competing right there. We have an opportunity elsewhere to compete. I felt like we misread the safety structure on 2 very big plays that could have led to 45-yard, 50-yard, 60-yard explosives, depending on what wide receivers do after the catch. The first one is a play-action shot to Noah Thomas. He peaks Oscar Delp originally. The safety's standing at 8.5 yards. Play action happens. The safety does not move. And we're running a deep post. If the middle of the field safety doesn't move and he's playing in the box, he ain't getting back over the middle field post. We have one-on-one against the Georgia Tech corner whose butt's to the sideline and the middle of the field is now wide open. We have to throw that ball. We 100% have to throw that football. And he does it again later with a PI. It's a defensive holding on Dylan Bell. But if we look at the safety structure like we're supposed to pre-snap, we realize that the field safety's about to play a rat. He's about to play in the middle of the field. He's going to stay right there, which means we got a slot fade to Zachariah Branch that's going to run for 70 daggum yards if we hit it. So those are the things that we're only going to be presented with 7 or 8 opportunities in every football game for a 30-plus yard explosive. Mm-hmm. And you're going to start playing football games where you have to hit 4 of the 7. We just have to, or else we're going to lose today because we didn't score 26 points. Mm-hmm. So those things have to be addressed. I mean, some of the things aren't his fault. Like, I mean, Branch fell down on a sail route. All those things. Those aren't all him, but there are certain things where it's like, come on, man. This ain't you. This ain't the way you've played for the last, 7-8 weeks.
Yeah, and that's why if you watch the walk and talk, I compared it to a road game in late November against Kentucky because that's how those games feel. Like that's how those games have felt in the past of that didn't look like Georgia at all, like what they have been the last 4 weeks, like what they have been building towards. Like that didn't look like them at all. I can remember Stetson, the year that they went out there in the cold. It was so freaking cold and so freaking windy against Kentucky, and he didn't play any – he didn't play anywhere near to what he had been up to that point in the year. Like, it was just one of those performances. But, yeah, the defense was doing their job the entire day. So it felt like you get to a point of, well, we're okay. Like, we're going to be fine. We can just kind of walk our way out of here. Might not look pretty on the scoreboard or anything like that. Box score's not going to look pretty unless your name's Nate Frazier. But we're just going to be okay with what the result is today. And that's kind of what it felt like. So the best news is your defense played lights out against what was statistically one of the best offenses in the entire country. And they absolutely dominated them for 4 quarters, kept them out of the end zone at that. So that's the biggest plus there. And also going off of that of Gunnar had some of these struggles early on in the year, and you saw him quickly resolve them and start playing at a high level and was quickly became one of the best quarterbacks, many would say, in the country. So now you go into the SEC championship game. You hope that that's what he returns to this time around.
Yeah, this game felt very much to me, looking back on it, you had 2 teams that placed such an emphasis on how can we stop their offense, and you kind of felt like on your side of the football, you can just kind of play the hits to get points. Georgia Tech has had success the last 2 years against Georgia's defense offensively. Georgia has been a very successful team at running the football and came into this game with Georgia Tech not being able to stop the run effectively. So it kind of felt like both teams just kind of came in and said, we're going to do what we do on offense, but we are going to make sure that you cannot score points against us. And it felt like it played out like that. Gunnar Stockton obviously didn't have a great day, but Georgia Tech was dialed and did the right things that would, allow for Gunnar Stockton to not have a good day. You did say to me in the press box, though, it was very obvious Georgia Tech was fine allowing Georgia to run the football.
Yeah,
which
man.
I don't think is a winning recipe moving forward if you're going to play Georgia, but it held them to 17 points.
They were fine letting them?
Dude, to me it was like they're like, we'll just let them gash us all day.
Oh, no. I think you earned the right to gash them all day. I think you pushed them around. Jonathan, they were playing single high safety. The other safety was in the box. They were committed to stopping the run. They just couldn't.
Right.
I talked about this on an Alabama podcast today. Georgia's offensive, the problem when you face them is that no matter what you do, unless you're Auburn this year, that's the only football team that's done this to them. You can commit as much as you want. We're still going to run the football for 5 yards a clip. Mm-hmm. It's 1st and 10. It's about to be 2nd and 5. And then we keep doing that, and eventually Nate Frazier's busting off for 30 yards. Now, Nate had a very individually special football game, I felt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's a lot of times where you're putting him one-on-one with the safety. That's his job.
Yeah.
His job's to make that guy miss and then have a 35-yard run where the backside corner runs him down. That's supposed to be his job. I felt like offensively the moment, and it's a big concern for me moving forward because we don't know how long he's going to be out. Sounds like a foot. You can tell when Drew Bobo goes out.
Yeah, you can.
You can tell when he goes out. That guy, and I said it going into the season, that guy's really freaking good. He is what a center is supposed to be. A center is supposed to make us whole. A center is supposed to make us right. All 5 of us moving as one congruent body. That is what it's supposed to be. And it doesn't happen without a great center. It doesn't happen without a really, really smart center either. A guy that can make sure the guard next to me knows what he's doing, therefore the tackle next to him knows what he's doing on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and be so great at it that oftentimes we can be nonverbal. Oftentimes we don't even have to talk. Oftentimes they just know what it is because Drew's giving them what they need to give them. This was no more true when Cedric Van Pran was in this offense. Everybody who knows anything about scouting prospects will tell you that Jared Wilson was a quote-unquote better athletic prospect profile than Cedric Van Pran Granger. But anybody who watched Georgia football knew that the offensive line worked better when Cedric Van Pran was in there than it did when Jared Wilson was in there, no matter how talented Jared is. And that displays what I'm talking about. How we go from 4th-round draft pick, sixth swing man on the Buffalo Bills to NFL starter to Drew Bobo, and the 2 on the outside of that NFL starter have been the best center for this offensive line unit. It's a massive loss. Don't know how long it's going to be. But from a stunt absorption standpoint as well, that's the biggest loss in my opinion. The ability to handle the chaos in the run game, that's what 74 made whole all year long.
Yeah, it felt like he made the offense a little bit more organized internally on the offensive line at least. There were some, and we don't have to throw any names under the bus, but there were some instances where you go, ooh, if 74 is in, that play is probably made, or that edge is probably sealed, or that block is probably made. I can remember specifically on a screen pass that got busted up. It was like, man, you really miss not having Drew Bobo in there right now. Now, in fairness, you get thrown into the fire. You're not expecting to play meaningful snaps in that game. You have to go out there against a defense like that. It's tough. I understand it. So they'll have time to get everyone ready this week.
I will say this. They really, really struggled with those fire hydrant defensive tackles from Georgia Tech. Both those guys are my height, which, by the way, I'm 6'1", 6'1" on a good day, maybe 6'2", depending on which gas station I leave. But they struggle with the pad level. I mean, Micah and Donnie particularly, they were getting reset often in this football game. I don't expect that moving forward because they ain't going to play no more 5'11" fire hydrants unless they draw. Now, Caden McDonald doesn't fit this anymore. He's 6'2.5".
So the question is, do you think they go with Malachi Tolliver in the SEC championship game, or what are the options there?
Is Cortez Smith healthy?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask.
If Cortez Smith's healthy this week, we are competing. We're going to give you both runs with the ones.
I mean,
it didn't look good.
No, what I was going to say is, not even talking about offensive line play, there were several snaps that, one, in my opinion, threw off the timing of the offense, and that alone is oof. You can't be holding your breath on every snap just hoping you get the ball to the quarterback.
Yeah.
By the way, they have this same concern at Alabama too because Parker Brailsford's playing on one foot. The other thing that scared me, and this is not Georgia's fault, this is an injury fault, this is Colby Young going out. We all agree. Dylan Bell's a great football player. He's a great gadget. He's a great yards after catch guy. He's a tough football player. He's great with the ball in his hands. He's not an X receiver, I don't think. Do you?
No, that's not where he is best.
In the true sense of the body type, no, he's not that.
There were, I think, 3 2nd and 10s that became 3rd and 10s because we're in 3-by-1. They've got man-to-man coverage over there on an island, and we've instilled in the quarterback since the Monken days that if that's the math, we take the shot because we got a 50-50 chance of a 35-yard completion right now. Is that a 50-50 ball, though? That's the question.
This year, yes.
Yeah.
Dylan Bell has made those plays it's felt like more times than
I'm glad I had this take again with you guys in the room. I felt like I was a little harsh on it.
And plus,
on Sunday, because against Tech, he lost all 3 of them.
Well,
he damn near made one of them.
I know.
That was a catch. That should have been reviewed.
But all of those balls are like that.
Right.
You know? He had to make a miraculous – dude, he gutted Ole Miss. He had to make a miraculous catch doing so, though.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's put it this way. Would I much rather that go to Noah Thomas? Yes. Like, if you want to put it in those terms, like,
Or
yes.
Elias Williams.
Or Elias Williams, like, whoever you want it to be. Like, would I much rather it go to one of those guys? Yes. But if we're throwing it to Dylan Bell, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, why are we throwing those balls to that guy when this season, when they've been thrown his way, he's been making those plays. I feel like he's kind of earned the right to be like, well.
So I'm being Bobo running the draw guy again. That's what I'm doing? That's
I
what you're
don't
saying?
know if I go that far.
Okay.
I would just say,
damn. Shut up, Brooks. You don't know ball.
I'm not going that far.
Okay, just tell me that next time, guys. I mean, shit.
But and like your thought process is warranted because last year when that was the case, we know what the offense was, and it wasn't what it's been this year. So knowing that, like, that's not how you're going to have to rely on him to be this year. Like, you're not going to be going into Alabama games saying, well, Dylan Bell's our ex-receiver. Let's see what happens. You're going to have Noah Thomas. I mean, C.J. Wiley was in the game early on as well. So that might be a good sign if you might see some of him.
I would assume his prestige tag is C4.
You'd think.
Right? Who else would be prestige tag C4? Whoever is prestige tag C4 in Athens, you need to learn how to park. Okay, you need to learn how to park. I know we're driving a nice, cool Scat Pack, whatever that thing, wide body, whatever that thing is. We need to learn how to park because double parking around my parts, door dinging. That's what it is. Just kidding. I didn't ding your car today, but you put yourself at risk. That's all I'm saying. You just put yourself at risk. Learn how to park. It ain't that hard to park a Challenger.
No.
Can't be that hard.
You wouldn't think so.
What are we talking about?
They do have a terrible line of sight, though.
Oh, yeah, dude. I drove one down in Miami because I was down in Miami. I was like, hell yeah. Give me the rental car. Give me the Scat Pack. Yeah, it's like driving a wide load.
Chat says C4 is Colby Young. According to chat.
Okay, well, hey, in a boot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In a boot.
He's playing injured.
My apologies.
By the way, can we talk about him being on the field with one cleat on?
You know why?
That was so funny.
I talked to him about it.
Oh, yeah?
I said, one cleat, huh? And he said, all I brought was my slides. If Kirby caught me out here in slides, he'd chew my ass.
So you brought cleats, but you didn't bring shoes?
No, I think maybe the equipment staff brought cleats. That's what I think.
That's fair.
I kind of liked it.
I kind of liked it, too. I thought it was very akin to Dante Williams' practice or coaching.
Wearing a
practice
helmet.
with a helmet. Yeah, thought it was very akin to that. I thought Monroe Freeling played great football. Ernest Green had his best game of the season, in my opinion. He played great ball. Talked about Tolliver. Talked about Dylan. Talked about the pad level. Defense was an absolute just onslaught.
That's
incredible performance.
That's the best that team's played. That unit has played all season.
Yeah,
for 4 quarters. Like
you mentioned how good Tech was. Guys, that was an offense that was averaging 485 yards per game.
Shut them
going
down.
into that one. And I think over the last 2 had put up 400 yards per against you guys, hadn't they? They moved the rock for 2 straight years.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the best analysis, in my opinion, I've had all year was the baseball analogy on that football game. Just the idea of giving those guys 3 cracks at them, you know. And this is really the second crack at DeBoer because I don't count last year. They were throwing shit at the wall last year with Jalen Milroe as their quarterback out there at Alabama. Let's switch over and talk about that football game, shall we?
Let's do it.
It's a massive one. By the way, shout out to – I think Brent Key is doing a tremendous job of doing exactly what he did today. If Georgia ever wants to process a kid, you take him. If Georgia ever says you're not good enough for me and he's a 4-star, you take that kid if he's in your state. He going to play pissed off. He going to play pissed off every time they play those guys. I feel like their entire roster is this. Their entire roster, and it's a byproduct. It's not just Georgia didn't want these guys. They're trying to hone up the state too. They're doing a good job of it, but they're doing a great job of guys like A.J. Hoffler goes to Clemson. You probably shouldn't be at Clemson, buddy. Come on back down. Come on back home. Play for me. You can play a lot of snaps for me. The linebacker is an example of this. E.J. Lightsey's an example of this. The corner that starts for them right now that they took out of Eastern Michigan that's from Creekside High School. He's an exact example of this. I think they're doing a good job of creating that roster with football players with chips on their shoulders to go attempt to beat that team that lives in Athens. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And they've given it a damn good run. Damn good runs ain't good enough, though. I'm sure he feels that way about that.
I mean, good news for them, though, because everybody's going to say, well, they lose Haynes King. They got Aaron Philo. And if he's going to be there next year, it's going to be another tough test.
Already got school records.
Yep.
Already got school records. By the way, the Buster Faulkner to Auburn stuff ain't true.
Nope.
That ain't happening. So there's that. Maybe you keep your OC. You want these Bama film notes?
Let's do it.
Let's hear them.
We had the offensive film breakdown come out this morning. Do y'all want the defensive notes first?
Yeah, let's
do
hear these
defensive
defensive
first.
notes.
They're the opposite of their offense. Their offense is, I would argue, limping to the finish line right now due to a lot of injuries. Like, they're really banged up. They're playing some of their worst football right now. The offensive passing game's kind of discombobulated. They're missing shots that they've been hitting all year long. They're not playing their best version of themselves offensively. Defensively, they're healthier and they're peaking. They are peaking on the defensive side of the football right now. Last time you played them, Tim Keenan was in a cast, essentially. I think Tim Keenan is, specifically with the way that they play defense, that true three down lineman, let that fourth jack kind of roam around. They have the most impactful nose tackle in the SEC. What he does, the amount of attention that Tim Keenan draws, the amount of plays that he makes, the amount of gaps that he fills by himself, he's an extremely important football player in this game, especially considering what's going on at center for Georgia. Their new structure, when they played you guys last time, it was without Tim, so they had to kind of play 4 down a lot, if you'll remember. Now, you'll make them play 4 down again this weekend because you'll hop in 12 personnel, and that's who you are. But they don't want to be that. They want to be 3 down, let Yanze Pierre or Quay Rousseau kind of roam around, play 2 linebackers, Justin Jefferson, Deontay Lawson. Do you know who their 3 downs are? They're 3 downs, standing over the tackles. One of them's LT Overton. The other one's James Smith. Both are 5-star football players. And I just got done talking about the nose tackle, and I led the conversation with him. They're good. They're really, really good. Their safeties are playing great football right now. Bray Hubbard and Keon Saab are playing great football. Y'all know how I feel about Zabian Brown. I've been talking about Zabian Brown since he picked off the damn game and ended the game in Tuscaloosa a year ago, year and a half ago, as a true freshman. He's playing great football. I thought he had his best game of his career last week against Cam Coleman. I mean, played elite football against the second best receiver in college football.
Yeah.
Would you push back on me on that one?
No.
Nope.
He's the second hardest cover.
Yep,
There's no
sure.
doubt about that one. All right, and he played great football. And the other kid, the Dejon Lee, he's 6'5". He's 205 pounds, and he's no longer a true freshman, okay? And he was the top 32 football player coming out of high school. He's great, and the way they're playing him is allowing him to be great. Guys, they're no longer a man-to-man football team. It was my biggest point of concern with them. It was the thing that I eviscerated Kane Womack about. Kane Womack has gone from punching bag on this channel to a guy that deserves flowers, because their defense is the heart and soul of their football team right now. They're winning games on the defensive side of the football, and Ty Simpson making enough plays in critical moments for them to score. That's what it is right now. And I didn't know if it was ever going to be that 2 years into this regime under Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah,
Did y'all?
We came in worried like, oh boy, if Alabama has to continuously do this and there has to be 30 to 40 points scored a game for them to win, this isn't going to be sustainable. But they have continuously gotten better throughout the year, and it's been impressive to watch.
And I think that's kind of my biggest thing going into this game is that both of these defenses are playing better than what they were when they met in week 5 or whatever it was in the season. Like, Georgia's defense has gotten better and Alabama's defense has gotten better.
Healthier from Bama. I don't know if they can play you better than they played you that night.
That's fair.
They played you damn good. Really, really good. The only thing I would say is different about their football team nowadays is Yanze Pierre's explosion, Tim Keenan's health, and no longer are they out there playing Damani Jackson. So it's Dejon Lee time. So running the football at number 1 is no longer an opportunity where we know we got 20 yards if we just put the back on the corner. You know what I mean? We can't do that anymore as an offensive coordinator. So they've gotten better. You, defensively, going into that matchup against Alabama, were very questionative at the defensive back position. I think it's one of your strong suits now.
Oh, the
You're playing
secondary
great ball in the secondary right about now, and that would make you feel really, really comfortable about this. Quay Rousseau's getting really, really healthy. They're a zone football team that mixes and matches and disguises coverage really, really well. And, of course, like everybody else, those zones pressure zero you. They'll zero blitz you occasionally. But they're not all that aggressive like they were. I thought they were way too – now they line up and play football and make you beat them, and it's hard to beat them because they're really, really good. I like 41. Don't know his name. backup linebacker, comes in, is really, really fast, triggers really quickly. I like the freshman defensive lineman. I think he's number 90. He's a 3-star coming out of high school. He's playing good football right now. Defensive-led unit. That's what I got on them. Y'all want offensive notes?
Let's hear him.
It's been discombobulated. Let's start with the important parts, okay? I always like to start with credit, not criticism. The credit goes to their opponents. They've played 2 of the top 3 defenses in the sport, in my opinion, over the last 3 weeks, all right? Oklahoma is a top 2 defense in the sport. I'd put Auburn and DJ Durkin on any given night. They'll give you a sweat inside the top 5 in terms of defensive performances. So they're really, really good. They do a great job. And what they did to him was they never, ever, ever made him feel comfortable about what he was seeing with the ability to disguise coverages. And that's a major key for what Georgia's going to do. You got to show him something, and then as the ball is snapped, play something totally different. Because with the amount of check with me that they do at the line of scrimmage, all the controlling, all the audibling, all the differences and changes that he makes at the line of scrimmage, we got to make him do so against a picture that is lying to him. He gets the answer to a test that's going to change post-snap. That's the key. That's what you have to do to these guys. That's what Auburn and Oklahoma successfully did so the last couple of weeks. Felt like they finally got Jam Miller in that football game to actually maximize carries. There's been a lot of talk about Alabama's run game. I haven't felt as if their run scheme has been all that terrible. I felt like they haven't been maximizing runs. I felt like there's been creases to be had in this run game. They're too good up front offensively to just be terrible in the run game, unless it's a combination of both. They're not all that great up front. They're pretty good, all right, especially center and left tackle, all right. But the running back room, in my opinion, has not been maximizing the carries. We saw them actually do that this past weekend, and the run game now all of a sudden have success. However, if you really go watch it, like really closely, it's 2 or 3 20, 30-yard explosive runs, 2 or 3 8 to 12-yard spits, and 20 Bama runs this year, 2.7 yards per carry.
Yep.
And that's why in the fourth quarter they're away from it. They're not running the football anymore because they know it's relatively inefficient. I think in the last 3 drives they might have ran the football 4 or 5 times, and 2 of them were on back-to-back play. Or no, 4 of them were on back. They ran the ball 4 times in a row in the last 3 drives, and I think it was the only time they ran the ball. Okay, so they don't trust it down the stretch because how could you? It hasn't been all that successful.
Well, did Jam Miller getting hurt play into that factor, you think?
Correct. But the 4 runs in a row were with Daniel Hill.
Yeah. So.
But you could. I mean, we're thin, and that's my next point about this offense. They're really banged up. Brailsford's playing on 1 foot. You were in here today during the film study.
He was literally hopping on one play.
Just tip of the cap, Brody. Just an absolute Warriors effort from 72. By the way, 74 from Georgia did the same thing. They had to pull him out of the game. He wasn't coming out. He was playing on 1 foot. Warriors. Cuevas is obviously hurt, the tight end. Jam got hurt. I didn't see Derek Meadows.
No, I didn't see him.
And everybody's asking about Ryan Williams. My take on Ryan Williams, and this is my honest opinion. He may be hurt. I don't know if he is. But guys, even when healthy, let's say he's 100% healthy, go watch game 4. Go watch game 5. Go watch whatever. They run through Jeremy Bernard. Their whole offense runs through 5. The whole thing. It runs through 15 playing on time and number 5 in the primary progressions. And then after that, it's where is Isaiah Horton? And then after that, it's Ryan Williams. But now this Brooks kid, the Zaltier Brooks, this kid needs touches. So, we were primary, number 2's down there somewhere guy last year in Jalen Milroe's offense. Now we're somewhere scattered in maybe 3rd priority, maybe itching into 4th priority. But I don't know if he's healthy. Have you heard anything about whether or not he's hurt?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So there's that. What do you know Keldrick Falk to be other than a great defensive end? But if you had to describe his pass rush style at 6'6", 275 pounds.
Just kind of a mow you down type guy.
Right?
Yeah.
Get after your ass.
Yep.
I'm an NFL defensive end. I got a bag about me, but I'm probably going to run through you.
Fast and strong.
He chose to run around 74. That guy, at 6'6", 275 pounds, never once tried to go through his chest. Just ran around him for 4 quarters and did so successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Don't run at that guy. Do not run at Caden Proctor. Just run around him. I watched the South Carolina guy get a strip sack, literally taking like a 12.5-yard banana loop around him. Just play chase. You'll be all right. Jonathan, it's P and 10. It's the first play of the possession. Alabama's got the football. What are they doing?
Throwing the ball.
They're throwing the ball 100%. Maybe not 100%. 92% of the time. I have watched Oklahoma and Auburn in the last 2 SEC football games completely nullify possessions because on 1st and 10, P and 10, the first play of the possession, ball at the 25, ball at the 35, wherever it is, it's 2nd and 26 now because Oklahoma's dialed up the best blitz package and best pass rush get off that they can get because they know Alabama's throwing the football. It's crazy the amount of first down pass attempts that this football team goes through. Why? Because they can't run the football. It's crazy. So you have to dial up something on P and 10 to get these guys into 2nd and 12s, 2nd and 16s, 2nd and 20s. All right, you have to. I thought Oklahoma and Auburn chopped up half a dozen, maybe a dozen possessions over the last 2 football games of this offense because of that. You saw it in the Oklahoma study, and I know you saw it in the Auburn study. Got to disguise really well. We already talked about that. I think the other thing about this, man, they had drops against Auburn. 17 had a drop, young football player. 14 had a drop, young football player. Missed Jeremy Bernard on a corner route on the sideline. They've been hitting that all year. Mm-hmm. There's certain things that they just missed as a passing offense. I thought against Oklahoma it was all Simpson missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was what happened in those 2 football games, I felt like.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've seen when I mean, we talked about after that game. It felt like Alabama executed basically everything they needed to perfectly in that game, and they walked away with a 3-point win. We've seen now that sometimes Ty Simpson's going to have off nights, sometimes your receiver's going to have off nights, and it has drastically affected this offensive output. So I think that is worth noting.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, I said it going into the Texas game of what it took to beat Georgia. Now, this was a home game for Georgia, so you have to take it a little bit with a grain of salt. But, like, what it took for somebody to beat Georgia so far this year was a quarterback to play perfect, for them to be dang near perfect. I mean, they converted 13 of 19 third downs when they played Georgia last time.
That's not even the craziest part about that. It's the 9 for the first 9.
Yes.
You start a game on the road, converting 9 of your first 9 all in the first 3 quarters of the football game. What in the shit is going on? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Historically speaking, never going to happen again.
Yeah.
No.
So all of those things considered, you would think that isn't sustainable, that you can replicate that. But, I mean, we've seen how these Georgia-Alabama games go of, like.
I mean, if anybody's going to come over here and beat Tom Brady, it's going to be an Alabama quarterback.
Right. I mean, that's just how it's been.
That's how it is.
That's how it's been. It's not how it is.
Well, if it's how it's been, it's kind of how it is.
Yeah, but
Until
how?
it ain't.
Well, yeah. Right.
Oh, man.
And they ain't been that way one time, and you got them.
I'm excited about this stream tomorrow at noon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys.
I'm
stoked.
looking forward to the format of it.
What do you mean?
Like kind of how we've never done something like this before.
Yeah, so are you going to be here?
Yeah.
You going to show up at noon tomorrow?
Yeah, do you need me to?
Okay.
I'll be here.
So we only have one microphone, though. So you guys sit over here and I sit over by the board and we just talk ball.
You only have one microphone? How?
One lav. Like we both can't sit over
Oh,
there,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying? And we have no camera one. It'll be interesting. But for those of you who are brand new tuning in tonight, first time right now, tomorrow at noon on this channel, we are going to break out the All 22 on the big board over there, and we're going to be live streaming a rewatch, All 22 style, of the Georgia-Alabama game from back in October. All right, we're going to go see how it happened, what went down. We'll take a look at Alabama's offense versus Georgia's defense first, and then we'll flip over to the other side of the football. I have no idea how long that stream's going to go. Okay, because if you've never watched me unscripted breakdown film and you've ever wondered, like, there's thousands of people that ask me about my process. Hey, how do I do what you do? How do I see the game the way that you attempt to see it, all that good stuff? You'll learn a lot about that. You'll get a lot of answers about that tomorrow at noon because we'll go through every single play with no notes, and you'll see how my brain goes through everything, what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for, hey, how is this guy coached? Well, this tells me how this guy's coached. What's his read? Well, this tells me what his read is. All right, we'll do all of that tomorrow at noon. I think it'll be really, really fun content. Really excited to do that. It's our second time live streaming film. We're not supposed to do it. We're allowed to do it, and I'm very thankful for that, especially from the SEC. Don't get me started on folks at the Big Ten country. Boo! Boo! All my homies dislike Veritone. All my homies dislike Veritone. We'll see y'all tomorrow at noon. Love you. Bye.